Hello everybody, how's it going, and welcome back to another episode of the Horsey and Fox podcast here on youtube.com/Horsey and Fox, or iTunes, or Spotify, or SoundCloud, or the other one, Google Podcasts, I think, if that's where you listen.
Google Podcasts. If you're listening to this on Google Podcasts, just fuck off, honestly.
The great thing about Google Podcasts is it's automatic. It automatically goes on Google Podcasts because, as always, podcast was also on Google Podcasts, and we never put it there because.
So there's like some random bot just recognised that it's a podcast, and it's like, oh, there's two white dudes sitting in front of microphones. This is definitely a podcast. Let's put it on.
I guess so. I don't really know how it does it because I don't know how it would get it or like where it gets it from, but unless someone else does it. And
maybe
like,
because the title is the title the Horsey and Fox podcast.
Yeah, but not the audio versions. The audio version is just I just do it. Well, the audio. I mean, I guess it has a feed. Like there is a feed of the podcast.
Yeah. And
it must just find that. I don't know.
I mean, they're using all sorts of AI these days. You never know what the fuck's going on. You know what's going on.
Maybe it's all AI. Maybe it's an AI recreation of our podcast.
It's an AI generated Horsey and Fox episode.
It's not actually. I think that'd be really funny. I would like
hilarious.
that. If anybody does AI, I think I give you a free reign to use AI on our podcast and create.
As long as you're not trying to make money off it, all right? Because I will sue you.
Exactly. I'll take you to court.
I'll take you to the biggest court in the UK, mate. And
I got the biggest lawyer ever.
It's huge. He's like fucking 50 foot big.
He's just massive.
He doesn't fit in the courtroom.
He never studied law. He just crushes the courtroom with his foot.
He's such a big guy. A cool guy.
And that's how we deal with law.
In the UK.
In the UK, yeah, that's all our lawyers are just huge. They're giants.
Yeah.
That's why bloody what's his name with the beanstalk lucked out when he realised that it was a beanstalk.
That's true.
Because at first,
beanstalk.
Yeah, at first his mum was like, "Why would you trade the cow for some beans? That's stupid."
But there was a big man up there waiting for him.
But then they realised there was a lawyer in the clouds, and his mum was like, "Well, we can sue like every major brand."
All the brands back when was this written? Jack and the Beanstalk?
I don't know how old it is.
It's probably really old.
It's pretty old, yeah. Jack and the Beanstalk.
When was Jack and the Beanstalk?
1734.
Oh, we both got different results. Mine says what? It says 1890.
It appeared in the story of Jack Spriggins and the Enchanted Bean in 1734.
Yeah, it looks like 1734 was the OG, and then someone robbed it in like the beginning of the 19th century and put their own name on it. What cunt? People have been plagiarizing since day one.
Ridiculous, fucking ridiculous. But yeah, this is the Horsey and Hogs podcast.
Yeah.
We're here again today to do a podcast.
Things have happened
since last episode. What have you been doing? Are you good?
Been vibing, chilling,
nice.
Playing Resident Evil 4. Super close to getting the platinum now. Yeah, I'm one playthrough away.
Blimey.
My stream begins today we're recording my stream series of my last playthrough.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be fucking sweet, man.
That's sweet. That is nice. You haven't played Burning Shores yet?
No, and I haven't played Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor like I was going to, but I will. But currently, actually last night, I started playing Assassin's Creed 1 for my video.
Ah, yes, I saw your tweet.
So good. It is so
good.
I haven't played it in years, so it's so much better than I even remember it being. Like it's just it's the subtleties of everything, all the dialogue and everything. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It's one of the more immersive games I've ever played, I think.
Oh yeah,
crazy,
it really
it's so
is.
Old.
It looks the graphics as well. It blew my mind.
It holds up so well. It's crazy.
Like, after the bit in Solomon's Temple, when you get back to Masyaf, and like I was like sort of slowly walking through the city, not city, the village, looking up at the castle, and I was just in awe at how good it looked for the game that came out like 15 years ago, or however long.
It's crazy, and it's partly due to like I talked about this with Leo K, and he pointed out like a lot of it is down to the lighting, like the lighting system they used in AC1 is really really good, and it's it's interesting because it doesn't look as good in AC2.
No, it doesn't.
And I think the main reason is probably due to the fact that AC2 has day-night cycle, so it's dynamic time of day, whereas AC1 is a set time of day, so like they can perfect the visuals.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like the sun and
really,
the clouds
really
and sky, like, oh god, it looks amazing.
It's a great game. It's a very nice game.
It's fucking
Definitely
gem.
enjoyed my replay.
I'm gonna play some more of it today. Have a great time. Take a little trip down memory lane.
Nice. It's one of those games that when you really take your time with it and just sort of get lost and experience the whole thing, it just feels great. It's just like really fun to play.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that.
It's like something that I think a lot of games lose, even when like they have a banging story, is sometimes they're not very fun to like actually play through.
Yeah.
Like you're sort of like, oh, I love the story and I love the characters, and like I am having fun, but like when you play a game where the gameplay is just so solid and you're just having a good time, it's a whole different experience.
It is. When games strike a really good balance between story and actually being a game, because I think a lot of games today, like back in like the mid 2000s, it was like there were games that were just games and you just play them and they were just fun and they were a good time and they didn't really focus all too much on narrative and being cinematic. But now it's like there's so many games where it's like, oh, epic cinematic fucking game, and it's like, don't get me wrong, I love my cinematic games, like all the PlayStation exclusives and stuff, they're great, but like where's the games that are just trying to be games, man? Come on, like not every game needs to be some cinematic fucking masterpiece. Like I just want a fun game where I can smash about and go mental.
Yeah, and I think one of the cool things about Star Wars Jedi Survivor is that it's just so fucking fun to play.
It looks really
like
fun.
It's got a great story, it's immersive, it's got great characters, all that stuff, but fuck, it's so fun to play. Like Fallen Order was a great, really fun game to play, but they've just like improved in every single aspect of it, like navigation and movement. Like I'm just like, I've never found that exploring an area or a planet is a chore, because you go over to an area and I'm like, oh, this is a movement puzzle or parkour puzzle, so it's like I'm gonna be running on the walls, jumping from thing to thing, you string your moves together. It's very old school Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I saw some gameplay of the wall running and stuff.
And it feels really, really fun to just like go through and like you're swinging off ropes and like falling down walls and all of this stuff. Like you got to be quick to react and stuff. It's it's one of the better movement systems I think I've played, and definitely in recent memory, which is really nice. And obviously combat is sweet. It's just a great game. It's a really, really fun game.
It does look very good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And like the different stances you have with lightsaber combat and the levels of customization too. There's so much. It's just so good. Like it's actually so good. Like so much better than I expected it to be. And I did think it looked good, but like I like playing it is like a whole different story. It just feels it's really,
crazy.
Really cool.
EA is making great single player games. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, The cool thing with Respawn, obviously the devs of it, EA have given them, they're letting them make what they want, but also like they're actually a really good studio. That like obviously they've made Fallen Order, they've made Jedi Survivor, great games, but also they were the guys that made Titanfall, which was very good. Titanfall was great, and I also heard that Titanfall 2 had a really good campaign, which I've not played.
Oh yeah, people were saying that's great. I'd love a Titanfall 3, to be honest. I think
it would be cool.
It's such a shame that the first two games got just overshadowed, just time and time again. I don't know how, but like they're such good movement-based FPS games. Like I don't think any other FPS I've played does advanced movement as good as Titanfall.
Yeah, so that's good. The thing. Like Titanfall got eclipsed by Apex Legends.
It did, because it's the same universe.
It's the same universe. Yeah, it was like the sort of sequel, I guess, to Titanfall 2, and it's done so well that will they ever make another Titanfall? I don't know. But
I'd like for them to
nice.
Like, even if they made like an Apex game where there's like a single player story and then like an arena shooter mode, because I'm not a huge fan of Battle Royale, so it's like I'd love to play a cool movement FPS like that, but I don't want to play Battle Royale because I find it quite boring. But like if it was like an arena shooter with like cool maps and like cool shit to jump over and stuff, and you can grapple around, I'd be into that. I'd probably play that.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 was really like I played the multiplayer, but I never played the single player. I was always like saving it, and then I just never played it.
Yeah.
But it was so fun. Titanfall was both games were really good. Like your wall running, and you had like the bots on the battlefield too, and you'd like you'd be sliding around and using your grapple and like calling in your big titans and stuff. It was a great multiplayer game.
So fun.
It was so fun. It had a ton of customization too and unlocks and everything.
The guns were really cool as well. Like that pistol where you can like lock onto people and the bullet like follows them.
Yeah, it was fun.
You like select multiple targets at once. It was really good. People don't talk about it.
I would love Titanfall to make a comeback one day.
Yeah.
But
it's just
Respawn...
I don't think. Sorry, you go on.
No, you carry on.
I was just gonna say I don't think. Who's the EA? I don't think EA is. I think they're a little bit cautious about releasing another Titanfall game.
Yeah. They're probably not very interested, especially when Apex is doing so well.
Yeah, it really is.
Which it makes sense, but it's a shame. But Respawn have got several Star Wars titles they're working on. They've got like 2 other ones that they're working on alongside the Jedi games.
Do you reckon they're finally going to do Star Wars 1313?
No, I don't think that's ever happening. Sadly, it would look sick though. That would have been a sick game.
Yeah.
But I think one's a strategy game, and the other one is an FPS. I think
Republic Commando sort of type thing.
So I mean that would be sick because like I feel like there's not enough games that are set during the Clone Wars.
No.
Which is like a really cool period to set your game, especially like playing as like a squad of clones.
Exactly. Like, imagine the relationships that develop between the characters over the course of the story. Oh my god, it'd be so
That'd
cool.
Be sick.
It'd
That'd be
so
sick.
cool.
I'd love that. That'd be
I
very,
would
very
love it because I mean, the best parts of Clone Wars, the show, is from the perspective of the clones, like a lot of the time. So I mean, having a game where you can play as your own little squadron of clones, like oh man,
that'd be sick, and it'd give you a chance as well. You can almost bring back the classic, like every game used to have. You'd have a single player campaign and then a competitive multiplayer. You could just bring that back. It could be a game like that. You got your single player campaign. And but better, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, the new Battlefront games, I only played like 5 minutes of both of them, but yeah, the old ones are definitely superior. Yeah,
but I guess you could focus a bit more in on like arena shooter rather than like big open battlefield type. Thing.
Because no Jedi playable characters or anything like that. Don't have any like heroes or anything. Like, I don't need that shit.
Just a shooter with like you got your progression, you unlock new weapons and.
Yeah, but how much longevity does that have? I don't know. Would people want to play like a strictly Star Wars themed shooter? They probably would. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm thinking about it from my perspective. I don't know if I would want to, but
I don't play a lot of shooters in general, so
no.
I don't know.
Something exceptionally good has to come out, and just nothing's that good, to be honest, when it comes to FPS. Like, you got Halo Infinite, which was like, I had a great time with that, and then I realised how shit it was. And then Modern Warfare 2 came out, and I was like, oh, I love Modern Warfare 2019, this game was great. And then I played Modern Warfare 2 for like 2 months, and then I was like, fucking hell, this is shit.
That's rough. That is rough. I've still not played it.
Campaign's banging, but the multiplayer can suck a dick, because Infinity Ward sucks.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Sledgehammer's releasing a game this year, aren't they?
Oh, if it's Advanced Warfare 2. If it's Advanced Warfare 2.
Advanced Warfare 2.
Or a sequel to Advanced Warfare. Like, it doesn't matter what it's called. I just want to.
Why would they do that? Why would they go back to that?
Because people are getting bored of boots on the ground again now. People want jetpacks.
Do you remember when there was that big thing where like people were like I cannot stand these futuristic CODs.
Yeah.
Like they announced like was it Infinite Warfare? Was that the one
Infinite
where
Warfare was it was the one
the one that was like one of the most disliked trailers. Oh my god!
Yeah, it's got Kit Harington and Conor McGregor in it. In the campaign.
That was like, they set up EA perfectly that year to just like dominate when they released this game that nobody wants to see, and then Battlefield comes out with Battlefield 1.
Yeah, and Battlefield 1 was actually a good game as well.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was decent.
Yeah.
But like when that trailer came out, like that war between Infinite Warfare and Battlefield 1 was crazy. It
was pretty funny.
Like, one was like one of the most liked video game trailers of all time. The other was the most disliked.
Yeah,
like that must have been so rough for Activision.
It must have been, but I think they already at that point had Modern Warfare 2019 cooking somewhere. They must have. They must have been thinking, look, just release another shitty fucking futuristic game, and then once we release this, everyone's gonna be like, we're so fucking back. We're so back. That's what it is. The pipeline of Call of Duty. I think Black Ops 4 came out after Infinite Warfare.
Really?
I think so. Or World War 2.
Was it World War 2 straight away? Oh, it was World War 2, yeah.
And
they did
then-
Infinite Warfare, then World War 2, then Black Ops 4,
Yeah.
then Modern Warfare 2019.
Yeah, and Black Ops 4 was like it was probably the most liked out of those sort of
That era.
during the era of COD being fucking shit. And then 2019
Yeah.
came out and everyone loved it and was like yeah, and then Cold War came out and it was shit, and then Vanguard came out and it was shit, and then Modern Warfare 2 came out and it was shit. So I mean, they're not really doing too well.
Man, I love Call of Duty. It's so good.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird
Fucking
franchise.
Call of Duty. I do wonder what Sledgehammer's gonna do next, because they just seem to really, they're like filler games. Like, I don't
They
think they've
are.
ever released like a genuinely one that people are like, this was really good and we
Advanced
liked. We
Warfare,
loved
man.
this.
That was like
What?
universally loved.
No, it wasn't.
Ask anyone who played like Xbox during that period. People loved Advanced Warfare.
Advanced War, I barely play. It's so boring.
I fucking loved that game. I played the shit out of it. Even though there was weapon what was it? Weapon variants in the multiplayer where some would just have flat damage boosts compared to other ones, and you had to pay money to get them. It was so
That's
pay to win. It was
insane.
awful, but everyone loved that game so much. It was so
That's
fun. And Black Ops
crazy.
3 as well. People loved Black Ops 3. I loved Black Ops 3.
The last one I played properly was Black Ops 2. That was the
I mean,
last
that
one I
is-
actually properly sunk time into.
BO2 is my favourite, I think.
I think that is probably the best Call of Duty game.
Yeah, it's
just
got a
because like
banging
an all-round,
campaign.
yeah, all three.
Yeah,
It's got all three things.
It's got
Yeah, Mm-hmm.
6 zombies, like 6 multiplayer maps. First game to have diamond camo. What a good time! What a good
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
time! I loved it.
Had sick DLC,
Yeah,
some great
Yeah.
new maps. They added like the Peacekeeper in with that first DLC, which is a great gun. I fucking love the Peacekeeper.
Yes,
That was so fun. Yeah,
Bacon
Black Ops
camo.
2 was the best Call of Duty, I think.
it was. And then I think a second closest, the original Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think that goes up there. And then COD 4. I mean, I like World at War as well, but like World at War's
I reckon
multiplayer was
I'd
a bit.
put third. I'd probably put Black Ops 1, I think.
Oh yeah, Black Ops 1's a classic.
Yeah, I think
It's
Black
really
Ops 2,
classic.
Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1,
Yeah.
COD 4, World at War. I reckon that's my top 5.
Yeah. World at War is great. I want to actually do a video on the campaign of World at War because it's so fucking good.
Yeah, you said that last episode, I think.
Oh, did I? That's something I've been
think
bringing
so.
up a lot recently for some reason. I found myself bringing that up a lot, but yeah, I'd love to because it's so fucking good.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. That'd be interesting. Interesting topic
For
for
sure.
a video, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
A little bit of a break
Um,
from the single player modern games. I want to do videos on some older games.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be good. There's definitely like it's always fun talking about an older game and
Yeah.
doing that and
Yeah.
just like I feel like it's quite fun too because I feel like sometimes I get caught up in the making a video on like this new release and you kind of have to get it out in the right window, otherwise like a game like there's a certain period of time where you can get a video out on a game
Yeah.
after it's just come out and people will be interested, and then there's like a large period of time if you miss that window where people aren't going to care
Yeah.
until like an anniversary comes around and then people are like, oh yeah, this is interesting again.
Yeah.
So it's like a
That
race
is
against
true.
time.
That is very
Um,
true.
But hopefully after this Jedi Survivor video that I'm gonna make, I'll do someone else.
Me back to an older
um,
game. And I still need
be
to do
nice.
my fucking Skyrim retrospective,
Oh my god,
which is
that was
gonna
ages
be
ago. That was that
huge. I
fucking
know.
10-year anniversary was years
I mean,
ago.
it's not going to be a 10 years later. I'm just going to call it like, is vanilla Skyrim still good in, and then put the year that it comes out at the end of it.
Right.
Because it's going to be a video about the vanilla version of the game. No mods at all, just the
Yeah,
very
that's pretty cool.
standard version.
That's like the complete opposite of what I did.
That's
Which
true, because
was
yours is heavily modded,
fully
but I know my
modded, yeah.
PC can't handle it, so I have to play it vanilla.
Oh yeah, true. That makes sense. I modded the fuck out of Skyrim. I had like 300 mods on that thing.
God
By the
damn!
end. It was so much fun though. It was actually one of the best like months of my life, just playing this modded Skyrim every day. It was so fucking fun.
What a
And then-
classic.
And then it got both limited ads and copyright claimed. So
Oh, no.
that was a shame. So the views just like died. It hit like 100k and then just like died.
That
The video's
sucks.
dead.
Classic
But,
YouTube, man. If a video's not getting money, the algorithm's like, don't care.
yeah, it's rough. That kind of sucks. But, you know, it's fine. At least it got 100k, you know? Can't be mad,
Exactly, 100k
really.
looks good.
Yeah, I cannot be mad at that.
It's better than like Betty's Cats or
God.
Goblin's Bar.
Oh
People
my
just
God.
don't seem to care about. Why?
Do you know what's crazy is I went back to the advent calendar bit from last year and I pretty much privated every single video.
Yeah, I saw.
Because I want my channel to look tidy. But I couldn't bring myself to private Goblin's Bar. And also, Betty's Cats was an advent calendar, but I couldn't bring myself to private that either.
Nah.
Just because I think they're such good videos.
Yeah.
Like, even though their views are abysmal, I was like, I gotta
Maybe
keep
the
them
right
there.
audience will find them one day and be like, this is
Yeah.
exactly what I needed.
Maybe. I hope so. Because they're really good videos.
I mean, as
And
long
they
as the
deserve
internet
more
is up,
views.
they'll be up there, you know, even like long
True.
after we're gone. So maybe like in 100 years, people will be like, the importance of Betty's Cats, and they will understand. The future
Yeah, true.
generations of humanity will understand.
True. I mean, Betty's Cats, that video is timeless. That will always be good.
Exactly.
Whereas the unsolved mystery of Goblin's Bar, the mystery could be solved.
That's
one day.
true. But they'll see you as a
And-
pioneer of
True.
the investigation.
That's a really good point, actually. That they will see me as that.
You'll be cited
be
in
great.
like articles or like academic studies. It's just a man that started it all.
Oh my god. Yeah, I really hope that video gets views. It was a good video.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't watched it, but I hope it does too.
It wouldn't make any sense to you, I don't think.
No, it probably wouldn't.
It's good though.
I mean, I
It's
was
good.
very disoriented playing Final Fantasy VII OG.
True. That's a good
I
point.
love the bit with the guy who kills himself. It's so funny.
Dying.
Is that in Is that us
It's
after
not
the bit?
funny.
It is so funny. Is that
It's
after
not.
the bit in when you go to the what's it called, the gold
It's in-
saucer? Is he in the gold
Yeah,
saucer?
yeah. No, he's the one that kills everyone in the gold saucer.
He kills everyone in the gold. I didn't know he did that.
Don't you remember? You
No.
go into the one of the areas, one of the little like game rooms, and everyone's dead, and one of the person's like, "Oh, it was a guy with a gun for an arm," and everyone's like, "Oh my god, no, it can't be Barrett."
Oh yeah.
And then you go
yeah.
and you find Barrett, and Barrett's like, "No, listen. When I lost my arm, my best friend did too. It was him."
Amazing.
It's great. It's great because they're polar opposites of like they both got dealt the same hand, but the way that Barrett
Barrett
deals
is
with it and
now
the
a-
way that Dine deals
Barrett
with it
is
is
an
different.
environmental terrorist, and the other dude's just like a mass shooter.
Yes. Yes.
He goes,
Yeah.
Barrett, I'm gonna kill myself.
Only because you fucking read it like that, you bitch.
Yeah, it was funny though. Jamie was loving it in the chat. He was having a great time because he's not a fan
my
of
God.
Seven, is he?
He's not. Well, he likes it. He does actually like it, but he
Okay.
also just thinks
like a bit.
he doesn't think it's that good.
No.
He doesn't get the hype. He
Okay.
prefers other ones.
Well, I will say I do prefer remake to OG, but that's probably because I didn't play an awful lot. Look,
Yeah, you didn't even finish disc 1.
that's true. I'm
You-
not saying
you
it's
got
bad.
about
I had a
halfway
good time
through
with
disc
it.
1.
I had a good time with it, even if I was making it out to be a little bit more goofy.
Look,
than
you
it
need
was.
to you need to sit down. You need to play it in your own time. You'll love it.
I was
It's so
debating
good.
buying it on my phone and playing it when I have downtime.
Oh no!
When I'm at work.
Don't do that.
Why?
That'd be atrocious.
Why?
I feel like it'd be fucked.
Why?
And you
It's
can't get
already fucked.
emotionally invested. What about those
What do you
emotional
mean?
moments?
Put my earphones in. I can listen to it. What do you mean?
Yeah, but like, but imagine playing like God of War 2018 at work.
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
Would it?
Yeah, no,
Alright.
probably not. Actually, I mean, it costs like 17 quid anyway, and that's I
Holy
don't know,
shit.
You know, it's a lot for a phone. Yeah, Square Enix can fuck off. To be honest, they're being little cunts.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's like all the
expensive
Final
for a
Fantasy Pixel games
26-year-old
on
game.
phone cost so much.
Yeah, well, they're good. They're good too. They're very good.
Yeah. I will maybe
they're
play them at
great.
some point, but I just can't be bothered.
If you only play one Final Fantasy, you've got to play Final Fantasy 7.
Seven, the classic, it's the granddaddy of all Final Fantasy.
It's one of
games.
the most famous games ever made. You've got to play
That
it
is
at
true,
some
but
point.
Look, there's good remakes coming out, and there's Crisis Core, mate. I'll just play those.
God.
And I have
Ruin my
completely
day.
the wrong perception of Final Fantasy VII Collection.
Well, I mean, look, if you want to
Compilation.
be the guinea pig, me and Flash Paradox have been talking about the idea that like like a lot of people go through the remake to OG pipeline or the OG to remake pipeline, whereas it would be really funny to see someone's first interpretation of the Final Fantasy VII story to be playing Crisis Core first, and then to like play to have played remake, then play Crisis Core, then play the OG, and just see what like sort of like fucked opinion you would have by the end of that.
The thing is, after what everyone said about Crisis Core, I don't even know if I want to play it.
I wonder whether... I mean, Crisis Core is, like, just bad in of itself, but I do wonder if you played it without knowledge of the OG, would it be as bad? Probably not. Be. I mean, I think that's why everyone loves it, because Crisis Core was a lot of people's first Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So, like, to a lot of people, Crisis Core is Final Fantasy VII. It's almost like... it's weird that Crisis Core treats 7 OG as a sequel to Crisis Core rather than Crisis Core being a prequel. It's odd, which is so odd because Crisis Core ruins the central plot twist of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
So it's really odd that they did that. I just don't know what Square Enix are thinking, but
they're clearly doing crack cocaine.
Yeah, Square Enix don't think is really the case.
It's true, they don't.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Until it comes to making 20 million mobile games of Final Fantasy 15.
Yes. Well, apparently, Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition is better than the actual game.
What, the one where they're all cheapy?
Yeah. Apparently, it's a better, tighter experience.
Is it though?
I might play that. I might play that one. I might play that version.
I mean, Final Fantasy 15 is not that bad. It's just combat sucks. Huge knob. Yeah. Everything else is pretty good.
I'm pretty sure, is the Pocket Edition not a turn-based? Like, they decided to go... It's a bit more of a classic Final Fantasy route.
Yeah.
That's
they let the praise of Kingdom Hearts get to their head when they made Final Fantasy 15. They were like, "Oh, boys, real-time combat."
Yeah, but it's absolutely not real-time combat.
It's shite.
It's just you hold circle, and also you can pause as well. You can pause combat too.
How do you do that? What, pressing the pause button?
I don't remember. There's a button, like you can stop, you can pause, and you can like select an enemy or like choose from your party to do stuff.
Separate gameplay mode, I think, that you can use where you can stop mid-combat.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. There's 2 different modes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Still shit though. The last 3 bosses of Final Fantasy 15 are shit. So is the fucking final boss as well, where you fight whatever his cunting name is, Arden. Shittest fight ever. It's
I mean, it looks cool though.
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
No.
It does.
When they're all flying about with the swords, it looks so goofy. Like the king's weapons, and they all have, like, Arden's got his red ones because he's evil, and he's got red hair, and Noctis has his blue ones because he's epic and good. It's kind of cool until you see them move around and stuff, and it just looks really goofy and stupid.
I remember it looking really cool.
I played it at the beginning of the year, and maybe it's because I had no healing items, so I was like, I had to stand there, I had to like sit there floating for ages, just blocking his attacks while he was like relentlessly throwing himself at me. And if you hold the block button in that fight, you're invincible, so you don't really have to do anything, you just sit there blocking.
That's great. That's really good gameplay.
Yeah.
Good game.
Shit game. But also not shit because I like the characters, but shit game.
Yeah, classic Final Fantasy 15.
So the first half of the game is great, and then it just starts fucking falling apart a little bit.
That's interesting, because most people always say the second half is the stronger part.
Well, the ending bit, like where you go back to Insomnia, is really cool. And when everyone's like, older and stuff. And then it's just that final sequence of fights ruins it. It's shit. So everything up until the Ifrit fight, I think. The Ifrit fight outside the palace. Like that's a pretty decent fight. It's not bad. And then when you have to go up into the palace and you do the different like, I don't know if you played the Royal Edition.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But I know they added like a boss gauntlet.
They added a boss gauntlet that sucks. It's shit.
Yeah, that's rough.
And fucking all your party members just go down constantly because they're shit and there's no healer. Let's make a Final Fantasy game, but we won't put a healer in the party. Great idea, guys.
That's rough. What even are the different characters' like jobs? What would they even be?
I don't know. Prompto gun, Noctis
Prompto gun, the
Ignis,
gun job.
Weird bombs that he throws, and Gladio big sword, and that's it. It's so shit. There's no mage. There's no fucking like cool little dagger wielding, like, I guess Ignis could be that, but he's also uses magic as well.
I guess Ignis is sort of like a combo of like a black mage and like a thief or something.
Yeah. And obviously Noctis is just use whatever you want, mate.
Noctis is just everything, but also there's no real jobs in the game.
Yeah, they dumbed it down so much. It sucks.
Yeah, they really did. That's rough. But I mean, 16 looks good. Looks real fun.
It does, yeah. It looks very good. They've learned from their mistakes, I believe.
Yeah, I think 16's gonna slap. But yeah. In other news, though, talking about FPS's new releases, things going wrong or also right.
I know what you're gonna bring up.
Fucking Redfall came out.
Yeah, it did.
And some would argue that it shouldn't have.
Some would argue that it's worse than Forspoken.
It looks fucked. It looks
like shit.
Absolutely fucked.
It's a shame. From the creators of Dishonored, which was brilliant. I love Dishonored, and people. I didn't play Prey, but people said Prey was great.
I did. I played a bit of Prey at the start of this year. I played like probably about 10 hours of Prey.
Yeah. It looks good.
It's really cool. It was really fucking cool. I couldn't finish it. Like, I think I was just in this mindset of, like, I wanted to be playing something else, be working on a different video or something.
Yeah.
And so I just ended up stopping and doing something else. But I was enjoying it. I was just taking my time with it. Like, going around, figuring out what to do, all the different ways you can interact with the world and the environment. It's just,
it's an immersive sim, isn't
crazy.
it? So
it is, yeah.
Loads of different cool things to do. But yeah, Arcane Studios recently released Redfall, epic vampire game where the characters' hands are really big. Because they have huge. I mean, they always have huge hands in Arcane games. That's just their art style. But like, fuck me, the vampire's hands are big in Redfall.
That's so funny.
But that's not the main concern. It's because the game don't work, and it's boring as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. I think sometimes, honestly, releasing a buggy game is almost like a saving grace because people don't criticize the actual quality of the game.
Yeah, they're just like, it don't work.
It's like, this game's broken, but like, if Redfall wasn't broken, it would still be boring.
It just looks uninspired.
It looks so dead. Yeah.
It does not look shit.
Doesn't look interesting. It looks really boring.
It's a weird open world game.
Yeah, you're hunting your vampires, you're getting your loot, you're playing with friends, I guess. It looks like this weird combination of, like, Destiny meets State of Decay.
And...
almost.
The Borderlands, maybe? I don't know. There's different classes, aren't there, you can play?
Yeah, and it's that classic Xbox trope of, like, Xbox games are known for this, is they just try to be funny.
Like, the character's dialogue is cringe.
It's so bad. It's just like every character is like, the classic millennial stereotype.
It's like Watch Dogs all over again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Watch Dogs. It's like Saints Row. Like Forspoken. Like,
oh, God. Yeah, just I do that now.
It's so bad. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it so much.
People criticize Horizon for having similar dialogue to that sort of stuff. And sometimes, Horizon, it does delve into the MCU dialogue, but I love the characters so much that it doesn't bother me. Whereas in these other games, it's like the characters aren't even good and they're being annoying. But Horizon's not as bad for it. Like, it's definitely not as... It does have that sort of MCU dialogue sometimes, but it also has really great scenes with, like, really good dialogue as well. So it's like, it's a little bit of a mix and match, but I think the good outweighs the bad when it comes to Horizon. But, like... Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely there's a lot of these modern games that are, like, just the characters are just so obnoxious. I don't get it.
It's so annoying. I'm like, if this person was really in this situation, they'd be fucking dead. Like, they're not... This is not, like... You look at, like, Dead Island 2 and, the characters in that. I'm like, these people would not be surviving in a zombie apocalypse. Like, they live on Twitter. Like, they're not real
is that
people.
what the characters in Dead Island 2 are like?
Yeah, well, apparently also that game is littered with cutscenes. Like, it's constant cutscenes for some reason.
Dead Island 1 was never about the story. I don't even remember the story in Dead Island 1. No one cares.
No, I don't remember either.
Kill zombie.
I remember Sam B
going, God damn!
And that's all I remember.
And
that's it.
Jiang, whatever her name is, with
I don't remember.
Slice weapons. Yeah, it was like she was the Chinese woman. Or was she
I literally
Japanese?
only
Fuck.
remember. I literally only remember Sam B. That's the only character I remember.
Sam B was a
And there's
legend.
probably-
Logan. Do you remember Logan? He was the one that he specializes in throwing things.
Is he just the white guy?
Yeah, he's the. Well, he's not. I don't think he is white. Well, maybe he's
not. Let me
white.
have a look. Let me have a look. He's white, isn't he? He looks white. Oh no, maybe he's not white.
He looks like, I don't know, Hawaiian.
It says he's American.
Oh, maybe he isn't. And then you've got Perna, the black woman.
Oh, I
Like, the
remember
police
Perna.
or-
Yeah,
what was she,
yeah.
security officer or whatever it was. And she was like the one who specialised in guns, and her special ability was like gun rage mode, where she would like, even if you didn't have a gun, if you activated it, she would get a gun out.
Okay.
Yeah, Dead Island 1 was fucking great.
It was.
What a banger. And Dying Light 1 was great. I haven't
Yeah.
played Dying Light 2, but Dying Light 1 was great. And now they've
I've
released
never
Dead
played
Island
Dying
2
Light.
finally, and I don't know what to think about it. I haven't seen much about it. The graphics look nice, but like, does it hold
Yeah,
up to
I've
the
just
OG?
heard that
Probably
it's-
not.
I've just heard that it's like got decent gameplay, but there's a lot of cutscenes. It's a little bit cringe.
Yeah, it's like when you're making a goofy zombie game about smashing zombies, don't take your story seriously, because then it just becomes boring.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is one of those things, like, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't care about these sorts of games. Like, I look at Dead Island 2 and I'm like, oh, I don't care. Like, I just don't want to, like, hit a zombie with a big bat. Like, I just don't. It doesn't do
It's
anything
so
for
fun
me.
though. It's so good. I mean,
It's
I'd
fun
still
for, like,
play Dead Island
5
1 now.
minutes.
It's fun on co-op. I think it's.
Maybe.
It's like I played Dead Island 1 and Dying Light recently with like 2 other people, and it was really fun. But playing that on my own would not bring the same amount of joy.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes
Because you can fuck
definitely
around,
sense.
like joke about the stupid characters that you meet on your fucking shitty quests that you go on. Because like we did, I think when we played Dead Island, we did all of the side quests in the entire game, and
Jesus Christ.
and the main story, and got some OP weapons, and it was so fun because for the whole time we were just taking none of it seriously. Like, there's this woman that you can give her water. And whenever you give her a bit of water, she says the exact same line. And we had like 50 bottles of water, and we just both kept spamming her, and she just kept saying this same line over again. It was fucking hilarious. It was just making me laugh so much. And like if you spammed the button, she'd start the line, and then she'd start it again, and you'd like spam it, and she'd keep saying the same word over and over again.
That is classic. That is a classic. That is a classic video game thing.
It really is. It really is. Something that you only get in those old video games, honestly.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah, Dead Island 2, big shit. Redfall, big shit. What else came
Yeah,
out?
I mean, you know, Redfall, poor Xbox. Like, there's a lot riding on Starfield now to be good. And
Bethesda
like,
have the chance to do the funniest thing. They kill Xbox.
Oh man, that would be so fucking funny. I mean, it's so funny, right? That Xbox keeps releasing games that are broken or lacking in content, like, you know, with their big heavy hitters like Halo Infinite, and now with Redfall from fucking Arcane.
Yeah.
And the game that's coming up next, the game that Xbox need to do well, is fucking Bethesda game.
Yeah.
They're fucked. They're absolutely
Todd
fucked.
Howard is like in the studio, like just fucking cooking shit up, and he doesn't know what he's doing.
Phil Spencer is sitting there with his head in his hands like, oh my god, this game's not going to work.
And if Starfield
It's going to
doesn't
be
work,
broken.
the last hope will be Fable.
Oh my god, yeah,
It's
true.
even funny. And then Peter Molyneux comes out the shadows and he goes, "You can plant a tree, and it'll grow in 50 years."
Oh my god, fucking Peter Molyneux. I watched the documentary someone made on YouTube the other day about his Milo game.
Oh god, Milo.
It was such a good video about how it was just like the biggest lie ever. Like
He's a pathological liar. He's gotta be.
It's crazy. Like at E3, you know, 2009 or whenever it was, he comes out on stage and he's like, he's got a, like, they're demoing Milo, and it's just fake. Like, it's just completely fake. Like, it's crazy. Like, they just lied to everyone. He's like, as you can see, Claire here is interacting with Milo. See, he can recognize her facial expression and the inflection in her voice. And then there's footage of the behind the scenes, and they mocapped everything and, like, record, like, it's all acting and fake.
He just wanted to make money, bless him. He was so desperate to make a bit of money.
He's such a fucking liar.
I love him though. He's so
It's
funny.
insane. Like, he even goes as far as to, like, when Fable the Journey was coming out, he lied about it and said Fable the Journey is not an on-rail shooter. And then it came out, and that's what it was. It's like, you're making the game. You knew that was a lie. You had to have known.
He's just a devious guy.
It's crazy. What a crazy fucking man.
Peter Molyneux is just a little dude, alright. He just says things.
He literally does just say things, and they're never true. Like, he just says shit.
I fucking love that subset of devs that just lie, or like, I don't know if he's a dev. He's more so just a guy that sits around watching the devs make the game. It's
No,
like
he was
fucking...
a dev. He used to do a bit of coding.
Oh, did he
here and there.
actually? Fucking hell.
Yeah. He's
like,
because he like built up his own studio and then like, became the head of it. But he's still
okay.
like.
So he actually
did
is
stuff.
a game developer.
Which is like that's kind of even crazier though. That he was coding the game and also was just lying about it.
He
too.
understood the process. I mean, it's like No Man's Sky. What was that guy's name? I forgot his name.
Sean Murray.
Sean Murray, yeah, and he became like the face of
Yeah.
face of everything everyone hates for a few months after No
Yeah.
Man's Sky came out.
The difference with Sean Murray though is that he was like he wanted these things, but he
Yeah.
was under so much pressure from Sony. Like it was
Yeah.
his first big budget game too. Like I feel sorry for him in that
So
sense.
do I.
But,
He was
you
he
know,
was like the fall guy for it all.
yeah, like he was just talking about what their plans were, and then PlayStation were pushing and pushing and pushing for release, and like stuff had to get cut, and like, oh, that must have been rough.
Yeah, and now No Man's Sky is great. So I mean,
Yeah,
I haven't
they've,
played it, but it looks pretty fucking good. Well, I have
they've
played
added
it
a ton
recently
of stuff
actually.
in.
I played it last
You
year
did?
in the summer, yeah. And
sweet.
we went on like creative mode and like figured out interplanetary or into like between star systems, because you have star clusters
Yeah.
and then you have to go to the next one. And there's like all character creation and stuff. You get to play in third person mode. You get to like pick which species your character is and like. Yeah, it was cool.
that's
Although
fun.
one criticism is, well, maybe because we were playing on creative mode, but the planets are still a little bit like, what is there to do here? Like, there's not really much to do. But I'm sure if I was like playing it on the legitimate difficulty, and I was like, okay, so I need to go to this planet to get these resources, so I can make this like warp drive, so I can go to this star system and do this or whatever. But it's definitely
makes
way
sense.
better than it used
And
to be.
I think with No Man's Sky as well, the interesting thing is, like, people accept Minecraft having no purpose, and all you do is dig and mine and build things. And, like, that's kind of what you would do in No Man's Sky. Like, you go from planet to planet, you collect resources, you build stuff. Like, it was very tranquil.
It was, yeah, I guess it is. But I think the thing is with Minecraft, you always have control over every aspect of your environment. Like, there's not one block in the game you can't mine, apart from like, bedrock, obviously. Whereas in No Man's Sky, you can't just like dig up the floor and like build any fathomable structure you can think of. Like, there's a set like thing that you can build, like a blueprint of like a building or whatever. You can't just like make it any shape or out of any material you want it to be. Whereas Minecraft is like you literally can do anything basically in terms of building something.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know,
guess it's a
and
bit
maybe-
more like a Subnautica.
Yeah, it is. It's way more like a Subnautica.
And they added like underwater base building and stuff, didn't they? You can do like underwater stuff now.
What, in No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, actually, last time I played it, I had a little swim about. I went really deep
So,
in the ocean.
You can do Subnautica, but in No Man's Sky.
You can.
They've added there's like mechs, and you can get like little car buggy things and ride across the planets and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of cool stuff in it now. So
Fair play
No Man's
to
Sky.
whoever made. I forgot the name of the studio that makes it.
Hello Games.
Yeah, fair play to
Yeah.
Hello Games. You've had a comeback.
They really have. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, that was. I forget what we were talking about before No Man's Sky. I feel like I had a point to make.
It was games not being finished, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Xbox. We talked about Fable. Yeah, the Fable is the last Xbox game.
Yeah.
Is their final
Bastion of hope.
Yeah, and God knows what's going to happen with that game.
Yeah.
I'm deadly worried for the state of Fable.
It's gonna be shit.
Not in terms of like how it's going to work, because I imagine the game will be polished, but also is it going to be like a Halo Infinite situation where there's just nothing to do, and like are they going to focus too much on online aspects, like your co-ops and stuff.
I kind of think they learned from that with Fable Legends. That weird that fucking thing. Cancelled. Yeah, I think they're gonna steer clear from multiplayer. I think they'll have co-op in it, like the original Fables. But I would be surprised if they had like a very heavy multiplayer focus.
Yeah,
but you never know. It's Xbox, so they may just fuck it up again.
Yeah,
I feel so bad for people that only play Xbox, to be honest. Because like,
that must
in a bit of a state right now.
Yeah, I think Horizon needs to be, Fable needs to be a competitor to Horizon. Like they've got to look at Horizon and be like, that's the sort of game we want to make, I guess.
Yeah, but it also needs to be like
different.
It needs to capture what people love about Fable, and I just don't think it will. They're gonna make they're gonna make it fucking woke. No, they're gonna make it. I feel like the comedy is gonna be a lot more tame. It's gonna be a lot more like Gen Z, instead of being like, oh, hello, knobhead, like Fable 2. It's gonna be more like, oh, just cringe. I think it's gonna be so cringe. Like, I don't have.
I am worried. I mean, the thing with it though that's good is that it is being made by a British studio. You know, it's being made by.
It's not being made by fucking Americans.
Yeah, that would be there would be no hope if it was being made by an American studio. I would not even be interested in it at all. I'd be like, this is going to be bad.
It's going to be like Saints Row, but set in Fable.
Yeah. And I think that, I think English people still get it. I feel like that, because Fable was never offensive either. So it's not like, it's not like a Saints Row where they went from offensive to inoffensive. So it's like, it was always very wholesome humor.
Yeah, it was charming.
Yeah. And so hopefully you can still capture that and get that right.
It's just been so long since the last Fable game that I don't know if the franchise has the steam to continue anymore. It's just been so long.
13 years since Fable 3.
It's ridiculous. It's like, why do you leave a franchise to fester for that long? What's the point?
It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Fable. I just really don't like. Is it gonna be? Are they gonna go open world? Are they gonna go? Like, what are they gonna do with this? Like,
just do it like Fable 2.
Like, it's gonna be. I reckon they're gonna go full open world. I reckon they're not gonna go hub based. I reckon they're gonna go full open world and just like seamlessly travel across Albion, which is cool.
You could have like a little horse that becomes your mate. You can have funny moments with your horse in cutscenes where there's funny moments that happen, and your horse is a goofy little guy.
And you could
have a dog. I'd like to have a dog again.
Yeah, that'd be good. Let's have another dog. That'd be cool.
Or a cat if you want, but dog probably works a little bit better because it can help you in combat and stuff.
And you have to have those 3 methods of play, like melee, range, and magic.
Yeah, and you can I'd like to be able to mix spells again. You can do that shit. That shit was really cool.
That would be cool. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Be able to do that. You want your jobs. You want your jobs like to be able to go into a town and like
make
work
pies.
in a bar or something and make pies.
Yeah.
Go to the blacksmith. And
make some swords.
Do some work there.
Yeah.
Just depends. Like, I don't know. It's gonna be weird. Like, you need the social aspect too, because Fable has always been like an Elder Scrolls meets The Sims sort of game.
Yeah.
I feel like you need that social aspect. Like, you need to be able to get married, have kids, buy houses, buy property.
Yeah.
And become a fucking
landlord.
Like landlord.
Yeah.
Bump up your prices so everyone hates you.
I've always felt bad doing that. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I would always leave it either at the. Like, what I would do is I would turn the prices down, but try and buy as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So that way I could afford to keep it low and still get all the money I needed to finish the game properly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Fable is a worrying one, because we've also not seen any of it since that first reveal trailer, which was like...
Yeah. It's literally exactly like the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer, where it shows a bit of landscape and then the title comes up and plays a bit of music. Xbox fucking loves doing that.
I know.
Just like, let's not make any tangible trailer. It's just a weird little announcement for our weird little game, and no one knows anything about it.
Yeah, they did it with Avowed as well.
Oh yeah, that fucking game by Obsidian.
Yeah, and Outer Worlds 2 they did it with as well.
Outer Worlds 2.
Just a logo pops up. Yeah.
That's also Obsidian, isn't it?
That is Obsidian, yeah.
Make New Vegas 2. Actually, no, don't. No, don't. It'd be shit. I'm fine with New Vegas. It's the greatest game. It's the greatest RPG ever made. I don't need another New Vegas.
Vegas 2.
Oh god, New
man.
Vegas fucking 2. Yeah, games just aren't really the same anymore. All these old franchises, I think they'll begin to die off. Especially under the fucking leadership that Xbox has at the minute.
Yeah, well, did you see the Phil Spencer did an interview recently, and he talked about how Redfall's shit, and like how it's like been a real big hit for Microsoft, and also he talks about how he just like feels really sad because they lost the previous console generation, which was the most important console generation.
Well, maybe you should have made some games then.
Yeah, like that's what he said. He's like, oh, PlayStation built up their catalog of games, and we just didn't.
Oh, I wonder whose fault that is. Yeah, PlayStation releasing banger after banger, year after year for like years. Like,
yeah, you're
a
releasing
decade
what,
at this point.
State of fucking Decay and State of Decay 2.
Yeah, great
like,
games.
Fucking make games.
Amazing games.
You used to make
Halo
games.
5. It's just like, why are you making shit games? What are you doing? What else did they release during the Xbox One fucking era? Like, what else came out?
Dead Rising 4.
Oh god. Xbox One
Let's have a look.
Exclusives, because there's got to be some
really
funny
bad ones.
There's got to be some stinkers. A Sea of Thieves,
Quantum Break,
Sunset Overdrive,
Rise Son of Rome,
Gears 5.
Oh my god, it was rough.
Oh, they had Cuphead
rough.
though. They had Cuphead, so you got to respect Cuphead.
They had Ori and the Blind Forest, which was another good game, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, that was a timed exclusive, wasn't it, for Xbox?
God, they released stinker after stinker. At least they had the Master Chief Collection.
Shame.
But that's like a collection of games from when Xbox used to be good.
And that game was also fucked on launch too.
That's true. Oh god, it was, wasn't it?
They fixed it like 5 years later.
Yeah, I forget how old the Master Chief. It's 10 years old next year. The Master Chief Collection.
Yeah. Came out it came out on the 10-year anniversary of Halo 2.
Yeah. God.
Oh my god.
Christ.
Oh, Crackdown 3 was another one.
No!
That game was one of the worst games I've ever played.
Crackdown 3.
That was genuinely one of the most like mind-numbing experiences I've ever had in a video game.
Jesus.
It was I completed the whole thing in about 5 hours, and I spent the entire time I was playing it listening to Nonce Hunter videos.
Oh my god, I was taking a pull from my vape when you said that. Oh my god.
It was so fucking good. I remember sitting there fighting this boss, jumping around, just listening to this guy beg for his life.
No, please. I was just lonely. No, you fucking weren't, you fucking nonce.
It was so good. It was so good. It was the one I was watching while I was doing this boss. This boss took me a while. I remember it because it used to fire rockets at you, and it just used to like knock you out of the sky all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember jumping around fighting this boss, listening to this one nonce sting, and the nonce was one of their like people, like part of their team.
I think I may have watched the one you're talking about. There's probably multiple where that's happened, but is he wearing like a red jumper in the video?
Maybe. I seem to remember the colour red.
He's like, they call him Scouse. That's what they refer to him as.
Yes.
And she's like, I've had you here in my home near my fucking kids.
Yeah.
It's like proper
so
like.
good.
I mean, fair enough. She has the right to be worried about.
Yeah,
that
it's
shit,
reasonable.
Like, of course.
It's very reasonable.
But it's just funny that the accents and like it's just so
it's
dramatic.
Still so funny. Yeah. It's so good. It's so
God.
good. It's like an hour-long conversation too. I just had it on in the background while I was playing Crackdown 3.
Heavy shit on Crackdown fucking 3.
Oh,
that
God.
shows how fun Xbox's games are. You'd rather listen to a fucking literal paedophile having his life ruined on video than listening to the game itself.
It was crazy. Do you know what's really weird is originally they said when they advertised Crackdown 3 the whole city would be destructible. And then they ended up relegating it to the multiplayer mode, which I did try, and it was fucked. Like, the lag was unbearable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like, as all these buildings are, like, crumbling, like, you're going down to, like, 15 FPS, and it's just a disaster.
That's what Xbox
It's a fucking
wanted.
disaster. Yeah.
We did not have the technology for that at the time. That's
No.
just mental. What are they doing? Oh
Yeah,
god,
it was.
it's crazy the contrast between Xbox One's exclusives and PlayStation 4. Like PlayStation 4's hit after hit. Like I can't even think of any. Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted 4, Bloodborne, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War 2018. Just all
Last
these.
of Us Part 2.
The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Like what?
Yeah,
all these
it was
bangers.
An incredible generation.
It was
the
so
PS4
good.
was.
Like the summer where like Ghost of Tsushima came out and then The Last of Us Part 2 came out. Like,
Yeah,
woo!
2020 that was, which
Yeah.
is weird. It does. I was thinking about this the other day. And I was like, I do not remember Ghost coming out during COVID. That's so weird.
That's true. I guess we were so used to it at that point, we just didn't really think about it. But yeah, it was such a fun time. Like I finished Ghost of Tsushima. As soon as I finished it, The Last of Us Part 2 came out, and it was like what? And then I played The Last of Us Part 1 for the
Wasn't it the other way round? Didn't
was
Last
it?
of Us come out first?
Maybe it was.
I'm pretty sure it was. Maybe I'm wrong though.
I just know it was during the summer, and it was just such a good time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, June was The Last of Us 2, and then a month later, in the middle of July, Ghost came out.
What a great end to the PS4 generation. Then literally a couple months later, the PS5 came out.
Yeah, and then you
Demon
got Miles
Souls.
Morales came out, Demon Souls.
Yeah, good time.
Yeah.
It was a little bit a little bit slow getting into the games that were coming out for the PlayStation 5, obviously. But I mean, still, like fucking Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok both came out for PS4. But Burning Shores, it's PS5 only, baby.
Burning Shores is PS5 only.
Mental that's the thing. 3 years into a console generation, they're finally giving up on the old one, and people are
It's
still mad
weird.
about it.
People asked him, and they're like, "What the fuck? I can't get this on my PS4. What the fuck?"
It's like you're
Like,
playing a 10-year-old console, man. What are
you're
you doing?
used to this. This happens every time.
Yeah,
like
just
why
be
are you
prepared
shocked?
for it. When they announce a new console, if you can, set some money aside for it. If you have a hobby for video games and it's something you do a lot and you have the extra income, obviously I know a lot of people don't, but if you have the extra income for it, just be mindful that you're gonna have to spend that money on the new console if you want to keep up with the current hardware and limitations of
and I mean
of games.
they've given you 3 years.
Yeah, like come on. Don't be
Like
a
they've
bitch.
released all the major releases. They've released it on the PS4 for you.
Honestly.
Like, and just now they're like, okay, we are going to move over now because the PS4 is obsolete. Like we need to move over to this new tech.
And people are like, what are you doing?
I'm like, what? What the fuck?
I mean,
know
look
this
what
happened
happened to
9 times before, but like, no, I will not have this.
And it's like older
Still release
console
games on the Nintendo
generations-
Entertainment System, please.
Like, yeah, older console generations used to be shorter. We now have, like, nearly a decade in between console generations. It used to be, like, every couple of years you'd have to upgrade. Now it's like, you have so long, bro. Come on, don't complain. Like, I got a comment on my Horizon video, which was, like, someone complaining about the thing moving to PS4. But to be fair, they had a reason. They were like, I can't afford a PS5 right now because I'm on disability benefit and I have, like, £100 a month to myself and the rest of it goes on bills. And I was like, okay, that's pretty unfortunate. But still, don't be mad that they're, like, moving over to PlayStation 5. Like, it's your situation is unfortunate, but it's bound to happen at some point, man.
Yeah, it's just, it's just the thing that happens. And
it is,
they've stayed on PS4 way longer than they stayed on PS3 or PS2.
Oh yeah, people were moving. It feels like the jump between like Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 to PS4 and Xbox One was almost like a more significant jump. I don't know why.
Yeah,
the technology used in these consoles, don't get me wrong, it far outweighs the previous gen, but it felt more significant, if that makes sense.
It's because, like, the way they did it before always used to be this leap in tech, whereas now consoles are built almost like PCs.
Yeah.
Like, it's less of, like, this leap in, like, brand new hardware, and it's more like an upgrade to the old hardware sort of thing.
It's like the natural evolution of what you had before. It's like, it's very seamless, it feels like now. It's like the generations will bleed into one another opposed to being like a jump.
Yeah, like, you look at the difference between, I'm trying to think of a game, the difference between Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4.
Oh god,
is
yeah,
like,
that's insane.
You can see that generational leap. But then you look at Uncharted 4 and then, when they eventually bring out Uncharted 5, and you'll be able to see the leap, but it'll blend a bit better, I feel like.
Or maybe it
because-
won't. I mean, we've seen
I mean, maybe it won't.
the
I don't
extent
know.
of games these days. I mean, maybe we remember in our mind's eye Uncharted 4 better than it actually looks. It
Yeah,
does
I
look
mean,
really
part-
good, though.
Part of it is like resolution and frame rate too, though.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
original Uncharted 4 ran at 30 FPS, probably like 1080p.
Yeah.
Whereas, you're so used to games running now at 4K, sometimes 60, depending
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
game.
I will always pick 60 over 4K, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I always do the opposite. I'm always resolution first.
Mm.
Unless it's like really, like God of War Ragnarok had a really good performance mode
Yeah.
where the resolution barely took a hit when you put it on performance. I was like, I have to do that. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Like, I could barely see the difference between quality mode and performance mode with
Yeah.
Ragnarok. But then you look at something like, Horizon Forbidden West, and I had to go with the resolution mode. The density of that game's environments are
Yeah.
insane in 4K. It's just mental.
It was weird because I tried putting on. I don't know if it's my TV is just really good at upscaling stuff to like 4K or like a simulated 4K or whatever. But I tried to switch between performance and resolution mode for Forbidden West, and I noticed no difference in the way it looked, like in terms of
Interesting.
clarity. And I think it's just my TV because the gameplay that I recorded, like on my Elgato, and as I was editing it for the Horizon video, I noticed that it was very blurry in places, and it didn't look like that on my TV.
That's interesting. I mean, that's pretty good if your TV does that.
I think it must do because it, like, honestly, every game that I've played on performance mode looks exactly the same as when I switch it to resolution mode. I do not know why.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very, very nice. But yeah, I mean, that's the console battle that's currently going on. I mean, later this year, obviously, PlayStation's releasing Spider-Man 2.
That's true.
Xbox is releasing Starfield.
We shall see
So
what happens.
We'll see which one works and which one doesn't work.
I think Spider-Man 2 it's guaranteed to be a polished game. Insomniac just know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Whereas Starfield, I have hope that it will be good, because I love a good Bethesda RPG. I
Yeah.
love them, and they
I do
haven't
hope so.
done anything good in a while. I want to be happy with a Bethesda game, and I want it to feel like I can see the DNA of like Skyrim and like Fallout in this, like, and it's
Yeah.
like the next logical step to.
I am
their
looking
games.
forward to it. Like, from everything I've seen of it, like, I look at it, I'm like, this looks like a game I would really enjoy playing.
Yeah.
And I just hope that the one thing I hope is, because Bethesda games are always, I mean, single player Bethesda games, regardless of, the writing quality, are always fun. Like, there's always a fun factor to a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
And I like that about it. You go, in Skyrim, what's one of the most fun things is just like figuring out what the fuck you're gonna do. And you just go anywhere and do whatever you want. And I think, that's always fun. The concerning bit though is the main story or the quest lines. Are they gonna be written well? Because Bethesda are very hit and miss when it comes to that sometimes.
They are.
And it's like, sometimes they can write, stories that just enthrall you, and stories that are just like dry and bland and stupid and dumb.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of the side quests in Skyrim are pretty stupid, to be honest, and the main quests is shite.
Yeah,
but
but
I
then you
still
look at,
love
like,
it though. It's weird. It's weird
Yeah.
with Skyrim.
I mean,
Skyrim gets a free pass for a lot of things.
The thing with Skyrim is a lot of what's fun about the quests is you just taking part in an event and like being involved with it more than the actual like compelling writing of it. Whereas you look at like Oblivion, and a lot of people will say like, those quests were better written than Skyrim.
Yeah.
And then, you look at Fallout 3, and it's like, there's some parts of Fallout 3 that have some really nice side quests, but then you've got the main story, which is just like fucking
Shit.
stupid. It's just stupid.
And it all
just
comes
nonsensical.
to the culmination of the stupidest ending in any fucking game ever.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
It's like you can have a fucking super mutant with you at the end when you have to turn off the reactor thing or whatever, and it's like, oh, this super mutant is immune to radiation. Could you just go in and do it for me? And he's like, nah. No, we're not doing it.
Dumb. It's dumb. But, hopefully Starfield is a well-written game. I just hope that it's got the writing to back it up, and it's also fun, going off and doing whatever you want, and going to these little settlements and like walking around and speaking to NPCs and just immersing yourself in this,
I hope it's
world
not
where you can do
too
whatever the fuck
big
you
as
want.
well.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what they do, because like you've got, I assume that the places that are going to be like, you know, where quests will happen and where stuff will happen will be nice, like, you know,
Fleshed out
focused, more
places.
sort of curated places.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you've got, you know, separately, you've got all these barren worlds where you can go off and build stuff and, you know, collect resources and stuff. So
can you build your own ship?
you customize your ship. Yeah, there's like a ship builder in it.
Okay.
You like, customize all your different components to your ship and everything, and you can, you know, walk around on the inside.
See,
and stuff.
that's the type of shit that'll do it for me, is being able to walk around my ship, and I just love that shit so much, and being able to like make it my own little home away from home.
That's one of the things I like about Star Citizen. Whenever I see footage of that, I'm like, oh, walking around inside your ship, that's cool.
Yeah. Can you set a course and then step away from the console and walk around your ship while it's
I'm not
flying?
sure.
Because you can do that in Star Citizen, I'm pretty sure, and I just love the concept of that, like setting a course for a faraway planet and just like sort of walking around, like looking out the window, seeing like, I don't know, some crazy like.
It's very cozy.
Yeah. It's
like,
a very
there's
cozy
something
vibe.
about that. It's nice. Like, and if you've got, you know, your companions on board,
or like a pet or something.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I hope I can get a dog.
That would be pretty cool.
Dog meat.
I'd like that. I think one of the cool things about the companions in Starfield is that, unlike Skyrim, they will comment on what's happening. So, like, they feel active in the stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
So, like, depending on where you are or what planet you visit or what part of the quest you're at or whatever, like, the companions feel like they're a part of it, like they're experiencing it too.
Instead of just like in Skyrim where you kill like a abomination and your companion looks at you and just talks about their life or whatever, or talks about where they came from. It's like Mjolnir the Lioness, where she'll be like, I come from Riften after you've just killed a dragon priest, and it's like, what are you on about? Shut up.
yeah, exactly. So it's like you'll actually have that companion, like it'll feel like a companion that's with you. And it's supposed to be with you, almost like more similar to Mass Effect, I guess.
Yeah.
In those companions, depending on who you bring with you on a quest, will like actually be a part of that story rather than just like,
God, that must take a lot
an NPC.
Of recording dialogue and stuff, like for each individual companion. Like, imagine that.
Yeah, I think they said something like there's a scale of like Starfield's dialogue. Let me find it. There's like a big like thing that says how many lines of dialogue there are. Right, yeah, so Skyrim has 60,000 lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 has 111,000 lines of dialogue. Starfield currently has over 252,000 lines of dialogue.
Ooh, God damn.
So that's a lot. Like, it's over double Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, it's absolutely eclipsed Skyrim's.
That is true.
So there's a lot of dialogue.
lot of intricate details in there.
So
I'm looking forward to it overall. Like, it's Xbox exclusive, isn't it, as well?
It is.
Fucking bullshit. Fucking making me play my fucking Xbox. I don't want to play my Xbox. I was reluctant to play my Xbox last night because obviously you can't play Assassin's Creed 1 on PS5 because Ubisoft can suck my dick, and they refuse to fucking put it on there. Or actually, it's because I guess maybe they don't want to use PlayStation Now. But I mean, it used to be on PlayStation Now. It used to be on there. The PlayStation streaming service, or the fuck it's called.
Yeah, but it also, PlayStation Now also sucks compared to Xbox backwards compatibility.
I mean, yeah, like playing Assassin's Creed 1 in like simulated 4K 60 FPS is pretty crazy.
So good.
It looks
it's
really
so
good.
smooth. It feels great.
It feels like butter.
Yeah, it's a whole, that's a great experience.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy that Xbox did boost like all of the like FPS for a bunch of like old Assassin's Creeds. Like, you've got your Ezio collection now runs at 60 thanks to Xbox, not Ubisoft, and Assassin's Creed Unity does too.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered as well, I think.
Yeah.
Black Flag doesn't though. They didn't FPS be Black Flag for some reason.
Why would you not do Black Flag?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know.
I'd like for them to release a remaster of Black Flag simply so I can 100% it without having to get the fucking multiplayer trophies.
Well, that'd be all well and good, but I'm simply not going to buy a Ubisoft product.
Well, that is
again,
true.
so.
I would feel pretty bad about buying a Ubisoft product. considering I already have Black Flag.
Yeah,
I bought it years ago.
I mean, you could just get it off of like a third-party website, like I did when I wanted to review. I made a video on Splinter Cell Conviction. I just bought a copy off eBay, which was, you know,
that is true. Actually, sustainable gaming.
Like most Ubisoft games, like people have always said, like, why don't you just buy it for, you know, from third party, or why don't you just pirate it? And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's valid if you don't want to give Ubisoft money, but you want to play their games. But I don't want to play their games, so I don't want to do that either. Like, I don't care.
Like whenever I see anything about AC Mirage, it's just
looks whatever. I mean, it doesn't look like anything because they've not shown it. But
true.
It's don't care at all. The only thing, I said this on stream the other day, the only thing from Assassin's Creed that I've like genuinely looked at in recent memory and gone, like, there's been a moment where I've been like, oh, that would have been fun. Is the multiplayer game, the competitive multiplayer game.
They're making that.
They are making that, yeah.
Watch it be like more like fucking For Honor instead of actual Assassin's Creed multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's bad, because then I wouldn't feel too upset about missing out on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, if it's good, I can't promise I won't throw away all of my integrity. Because
the AC multiplayer, it's a strong thing. Okay.
I have wanted AC multiplayer to come back for 10 years, and for 10 years they've said no.
Maybe Esco
but finally,
will come back.
You know, oh god.
I go, yes, I know. I put my friend's cat in the dishwasher. No, it wasn't the dishwasher. It was the washing machine. And I wouldn't let it out, and it died. Did it die? I hope it didn't die.
I don't know if it died. I think it died.
Man.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I ever see you, if you're listening to this, Esco Blade, if I ever see you, mate, it's on site, okay?
It's fucking on site. You're gonna catch these hands
in public.
Oh man.
What was that tweet you made where he was like dressed up as? Oh, what was that tweet where it was like? It was so cringe. It was like
two sides of the same coin, or no, the other one.
The other one.
Casual, maybe. Filthy, only if you ask nicely.
Yeah.
What a fucking weird man. Like, it doesn't surprise me.
God.
It honestly does not surprise me that he ended up being what he was with tweets like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What the
what
fuck?
was it that he did again? He was like trying to.
He raped someone.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It was that bad. I thought it was just like, oh fucking hell.
No,
man.
yeah, it was that bad.
Well, it's part of Ubisoft's company culture to be able to do that. So I mean,
it's
you know,
very true, very true. It's in their code of conduct.
So fucking glad I'm far away from all that community.
Yeah, I know.
Whew, Christ,
Jesus,
feels like a fever dream thinking back on it.
Yeah, it feels good to not be immersed in that anymore.
Feels good to release an 11-hour Horizon video and get 50,000 views on it in the first 2 weeks.
Video's done so well. People are loving it too.
They are.
It's been great.
So
it was
many
a good
people.
video.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't actually finished I'm in the last like 2 or 3 hours of it myself, because I didn't actually rewatch it before uploading it. I just uploaded it without watching it, which is a risk.
Oh,
but
thankfully there's no mistakes in it.
Yeah, apart from at the beginning.
Other than at the beginning where you said it came out this year, which it didn't.
It's okay. I addressed it in the pinned comment, therefore it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that video is doing super well. Let me check what it's on right now in terms of views as we're recording this. Let's have a look. It is currently on real-time views 46.7 thousand.
Nice.
So it's so close to 50k. So close to 2,000 likes.
What's it currently on? Like 48 hours. Last 48 hours. What's that?
Let me have a look. How do I check that right at the bottom? 5,000 views in the last 48 hours, which
Ooh,
is pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's
like, I always, if I have a video that's last 48 hours is like, you know, 1.5k to 2k, I'm like, oh, that video's doing well.
Yeah,
like, that's doing decent. That I can leave that and it can slowly accumulate views.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's sitting on 5k, I'm like, that's doing really nice.
Yeah,
that's
it's gonna sort of snowball effect. It has the potential to reach 100k, I think, which is just saying that is mental. Because when I was making the video, I was like, I'd be happy with like 2,000 views on this.
2,000?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. I did not set my expectations very high, and I don't when I release a new video, because it means that if it doesn't do very well, then it's like, it's not that bad. But even then, these days, I don't get too lost in statistics anyway, because like it's not. Whereas back in the day, it was like when a video was doing badly, it's like, I'm not going to get paid as much this month. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, I work and I get money from that. So the money that I'm getting from the Horizon video is like such a nice little bonus. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's I feel like I don't really look at stats anymore either, but
Yeah.
at the
Obviously,
same
you've got to care
time-
about the money you make because it's your income.
I think for me, what's really nice is that, I mean, after Tyler left Patreon, I got the whole thing to myself, so that's nice.
That is true.
Also, like I changed the pricing on it and everything because I felt like I was gonna give more content, I was gonna do more, which I have been doing. I've been doing a lot, and people like clearly like it because I've like sustained. People have stuck around, but tons of people went up from the $1 tier to the $3.50 tier. To get all that bonus content for Jazz Lounge and all my extra commentaries, early access, all this stuff. Like sometimes you're getting early access like 2 weeks in advance and stuff. Like if I'm waiting for to get like an ad approved or something, and I'm like, well, I can put this on Patreon and just sit here and wait now for a couple of weeks for the ad people to get back to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is cool. So it's nice because I have like this stream of income through Patreon, through like Twitch subs. And then all of my old videos just sitting there getting views.
That's true. Like Assassin's Creed,
it's like
Origins, how to get to Boyak's tomb.
Yes, exactly.
And
like
Assassin's Creed, the story so far as well. It's classic.
That video is not even. It gets 100 views. It's got 100 views in the last 48 hours.
It's not too bad for an old video that's like years old. But
yeah, it's not too bad. It's not
not as much as you'd expect for a like your most viewed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's out of date, really.
So it is, yeah. I mean, just what is it, like 2007 to 2017, like the story of like that era of AC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like 6 years out of date, but
that is very true. But I mean, the Assassin's Creed story has been fucking mental for like the last 11 years. So I mean,
yeah, true. And I do still get comments on it, but
it's like you missed this out. You missed out.
Yeah, what are you talking about this? What the fuck? Did you forget about the Vikings? What about the Vinland sagas?
What do you want about? Did you forget about Odin?
Fucking Odin. Jesus fucking Christ. But, no, yeah, I mean, it's cool because my last my top 10 videos in the last month are all big video projects from the last 4 years. The oldest one on there is Odyssey Broke Me, because I've got my top is my AC1 video, then I got my Ragnarok video, Altair's Chronicles, Revelations retrospective, God of War 5 years later, my Burning Shores video, ACT retrospective, Brother retrospective, Odyssey Broke Me, and then my Forbidden West analysis. And that's my top 10 videos. So like it's just nice to sort of be having this this like stream of income where I don't really have to worry too much. I'm still quite comfortable in it, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But it's still nice when you see a video and it does well, and you see it getting those views, and you're like, nice.
Because it's adding on to what you've already got. It's like you've got these videos that are doing well on their own, and they're still accumulating views, but now you're adding on top of that more, and that's just. Again, it does that snowball effect where it's like the more stats your channel's getting, the more engagement, the more numbers that are going up, the more YouTube is going to notice that and be like, oh, let's promote this more because this is going to get us more money if this dude's already getting views and stuff. So it's like it's nice. Yeah,
exactly. And I think for me, like I like getting views, but it's not necessarily like for the same reason that everyone else loves getting views. Like obviously it's nice to get views and subs and earn more money, and that's nice, but I like that people care. I like that part of it. I'm like, if I see a video getting views and like the like ratio is good and stuff, I'm like, it's nice that people care and want to engage with what I'm saying, because every video I make these days isn't just like a piece of entertainment or a piece of fun. It's like I have something to say and I think it's valuable, and like I like I'm very passionate about it. So it's nice that people give a shit.
Yeah, and like when people take the time out of their day to comment like a long comment of what they thought about the video, or like their own little theories about stuff you said, or like stuff like that. It's like like I barely ever care to comment on a video. The fact that you cared to comment is so nice.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. And I think for like content like that we make, or other long form videos or video essays, like it is an art form. Like it's not just a YouTube video. It's not like what we used to do, which is like a quick news video, which like, we cared about it and it was fun and people enjoyed it. But like what we make these days with the scripts that we write is like, it is art. Like,
so you write your own story for it in a way.
Yeah. It's like, you have to craft this script in a way that, is informative, engaging, correct, and, also entertaining at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, it's something that like, you care about. When you finish it and you put it out and people engage with that and like they appreciate the work that went into it, it just feels nice.
It does. It's super cathartic. Such an amazing feeling to upload a video that you've been working on for a long time.
Yeah, it really, really is. And like my Ragnarok video, I really expected it would be like a 50-50 split of liked dislikes, but it's on 80% likes at the minute.
That's good. That's good.
Which is really good.
And most of that 20% is probably like Eddie's alts.
Oh man, it's good though. It's just been good. I feel like I'm in a pretty good place with stuff, and your Horizon video has been doing well. It feels
we're doing bits. We're doing bits indeed. And it's time for me to start working on my next video now. I think the dust has settled over the Horizon video, and it's obviously I'm playing AC1, but I actually need to record and edit the Sonic video because I'm not letting that script go to waste.
Oh yeah.
It's like the Dead Space script can fuck off. I don't think I'm doing a video on that anymore. But like the Sonic script, I'm not letting it go to waste. It's finished. It's sitting there done, and I have all the gameplay recorded. So like there's no excuse to not make it.
Yeah, that's definitely one to make. I reckon that'd be a good one too.
Yeah, I'm gonna name it like Sonic Frontiers was almost good or something like that, like something polarizing, so the Sonic fans get pissed off and click on it.
Yeah, Sonic Frontiers, almost a success.
Yeah, something like that. It's gonna be a long video, like definitely nowhere near as long as the Horizon one, but I think it'll probably be like 2-3 hours. Which is a pretty fucking long run time, but obviously way more manageable. Like I think I'm gonna edit it in like it's gonna take me such a short amount of time. Oh god. Yeah. But nice. Content. We love it.
Very good. Very good. Well, we've been going for a bit. We do have some Patreon topics if you want to go through those.
Ooh, I also have recommended as well, actually.
Oh, you do? I was going to skip it because I thought you wouldn't have any, and we have so many Patreon topics.
Oh, shit! I can save it for next time if you want.
Yeah, save it for next time. Save it for next time.
We'll do that. That's
and then
fine.
we can go through these topics, give them all a decent amount of time, and then we could call it a day. And if there's any dreams, we can save those as well.
I don't think there is. I think there was one that was really short. Because people don't get the memo. We want one that's really long.
Yeah, we want long dreams. If Tyler's not here anymore,
exactly.
Man, you can do whatever you want.
If it's like 3 lines long, I'm not going to read it. It needs to be like a fucking essay. That's what I want. Okay?
Yes. So that's the ideal.
If you're watching and you've had a weird dream recently, please over-dramatize it in the comments and make it a really long story, because those are the funniest ones. And if you haven't had a long dream recently, just lie. Just make it up. Honestly,
it does. We're not gonna know.
Exactly.
Well, we probably will. You could probably tell, but that's part of the fun.
It is.
Is it a real dream or is it a lie dream?
Yeah, exactly.
And we have to figure it out. I think that would actually make the segment a little bit more juicy, a little more spicy.
This shit's fucking hilarious.
I found the dream. I will read it just because it is short. Why not? Let's see what it says. It's from Chad Mambrowski, who says, "Dream segment. Yeah, I had a dream about Layla from the new AC games. At this point in time, I was playing a lot of AC Valhalla, aka Best RPG Game. Anyways, she just woken up from the animus and could see her baggy eyes, and they seemed to be getting bigger and darker. Soon her entire face was dark and shadowy. I pissed my pants and woke up and realized my pants were sticky. 3 praying emojis.
You came.
Sweating emoji, glasses, and mustache emoji.
His pants were sticky. He saw Layla turn into a dark shadow and came in his sleep. Oh, fucking weirdo.
God damn it, Chad Mambrowski, what are you doing? Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
That's the dream section. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for the dreams. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Right, we've got our Patreon topics here. Thank you guys for submitting, and we got 5.
Ooh.
I don't know how good they are, but we'll see.
That's fine by me.
First one is from Raiden version 1, who says, I don't know if that's actually version 1. It says V1. Maybe that's not what that stands for.
It's version 1. You're version 1 now, man. Raiden.
Raiden version 1. He says, when do you think it's okay for a franchise to change, and how should it be done? To elaborate, games like God of War 2018 or later Resident Evil titles drastically change their formulas, but are usually looked upon positively. What exactly did they get right that a series like Assassin's Creed doesn't?
I think it's okay to change
question.
a franchise when it's losing steam, for sure, but you also have to execute it well. I mean, like, look at what's a good example? I'm trying to think of one. God of War is a great example.
God of War is a good example.
It is completely different to the originals, but it's executed really well. Maybe not so much Ragnarok, but God of War 2018 is executed masterfully. Whereas something like Assassin's Creed is like, the games, I don't know how to word it. They just became shit.
They're just bad.
I don't know how to word it because the old games are so good. The new ones suck.
I think what it comes down to is what is, I think when you're reevaluating or rebooting a franchise, right? You've got to sit down with your team and look at what are the core fundamentals of this game's identity. Like, what makes it what it is, and build on that. So you look at God of War, what makes it what it is? Complex combat, right? They did that in 2018. Mythology being central, they did that, right? Personal character journey, they did that. So God of War 2018 has all the pillars of what made the original trilogy good. It's just in a very different presentation and context. And it's not going to work for everyone, obviously. There are a lot of people that don't like 2018 because of the presentation. Yeah. But it is still, in its makeup, God of War. And I think same goes for Resident Evil. It's still a survival horror. You know, it's still got the inventory management. It's still got, you know, big guy that follows you around a map, you know, hunting you sort of thing. Like, it's very similar. With, you know, some additions, some changes to how they present story and how they present the gameplay, you know, through the, you know, perspective of the character.
First person, obviously, and it doesn't feature some of the old characters. Like, it's got new characters. Obviously, Chris Redfield's in 7, but, like, it's mainly focused around Ethan and stuff like that.
Exactly. And I think when you look at Assassin's Creed, or you look at Saints Row, for example, they misunderstand what made the original games what they are, and they've just ended up making something else. And so it's not an evolution or a change to a game, you know, it's just a brand new game with the title slapped onto it.
Exactly.
So, like, you look at Saints Row, and, you know, it's an open world, you drive cars around, you are in a gang, but those are the surface level elements of Saints Row. The things deeper under the surface is like a deep connection between your core cast of characters, like a believable connection between these guys, offensive humor, like walking up to the line of where, you know, like where there's a boundary and like what is okay or not okay to say, you know, get gameplay that is cathartic and over the top. But at the same time, everything needs to be grounded in a reality that the characters believe. And Saints Row, the reboot, is not that. Like, it's like everything's crazy. The characters know it's crazy. They think it's funny too. Like, it's just, like, it's not a believable world, and it's not Saints Row.
No.
And, you know, the same thing goes for Assassin's Creed. You know, what was called Assassin's Creed 1? Social stealth, complex parkour,
mystery in the modern day,
the mystery, the overarching story, you know, the meta layer, the deep connection between ancestor and modern day protagonist, the way their stories parallel each other, because you get that with Altair and Desmond, you get that with Ezio and Desmond, you get it to an extent with Connor and Haytham, and then Desmond and William in AC3. There's always a parallel there to be drawn. Whereas, you know, you look at Layla, like, what's the parallel between her and Eivor? There isn't one. There's no parallel there.
What is the point of Layla, to be honest?
You know, what's the point of the whole story? What's the point of that layer? How does it connect? How does it inform the ancestor story? How does the ancestor story inform the modern day story? You know, you look at social stealth is no longer a core element of these games. You know, complex parkour is gone. It's not complex anymore. There's barely even parkour.
There's no longer diegetic storytelling through, you know, the animals and stuff like that. And there's just so many core components of the original Assassin's Creed games that are no longer there. That it means it's just a completely different franchise now. I think that
focuses on totally different things.
It does summarize it pretty well. I think the core pillars of a franchise need to be respected if you want to change it. Because to make change, you need to first work out what you're changing.
Because it's like, you know, there's certain things you can change in the way you present a game and the way you present the core pillars of the game, but the core pillars have to remain. You can't just, like, strip them out.
Yeah, it's like Halo as well.
Down.
Like, I mean, Halo went through a bit of an identity crisis after Bungie left, and then they sort of clawed it back. Like, the Halo Infinite campaign it's good. It's a return to form for Halo because they clearly spent a lot of time analysing the core pillars of Bungie's Halo games. But the reason why Infinite's bad is not because it's necessarily a bad take on the Halo identity. It's just because 343 fucked it up with the multiplayer, but like, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some elements like I don't know if the open world aspect works.
Yeah, it feels like I read something the other day, and it's like it feels like Halo Infinite is the best Halo DLC ever. It feels like you're arriving on the planet, on the Halo ring, after all of the significant stuff has actually happened, and you're just now following the footsteps of what the actual interesting story was. Like, you know that Spartan that you find, and he's like dying, and like he dies in Chief's arms.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have said that the game should have been about him, and it should have been his story, and then at the end, like, Chief comes and saves you, and like that's the end of that game. Like, I feel like Infinite shouldn't have been Chief's story, if that makes sense. Like, it should have been a completely different game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that Halo post Bungie, I don't think they should have brought Master Chief back for ages.
No.
I think he should have stayed out of the game for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
Before you bring him back, like at least 10 years, maybe more, because what were the final 2 Bungie games? Well, they weren't about Master Chief. It was ODST and then Reach.
Yeah, that's true.
And it proved like they went out, they ended their time with Halo, proving that you can make games not about the Master Chief,
and they're still great.
And then 343 went, let's bring the Master Chief back.
Let's bring him back, and it's not the Master Chief. It's this weird Skinwalker Master Chief who's not actually Chief. Like, he's just fucking weird. He's a pussy.
Yeah, and you could have told all these different stories about other Spartans, about other characters, in the Halo universe. You could have done that, and it would have been better.
Think about the amount of conflicts and battles and like complex stories that happen throughout the Human Covenant War and after and stuff like that. Like, you don't need Chief to be the the main character anymore necessarily. Like, it's nice to have Chief, but so many other stories you can tell, and I think maybe 343 could have thrived a little bit better with not having to focus on characterizing Chief well, because they clearly don't know how to fucking do it.
Exactly. I mean,
Infinite
you could have done.
but,
You could have done an Arbiter game, him grappling with the loss of someone that he became close friends with in the Master Chief, and the fact that he's now, after that battle, that final huge battle for the Ark and everything.
Yeah.
Now he's got to go back to his people and try to lead them, and deal with that whole aspect. You've got the Civil War there that you can then play into on San Helios, and you've got like,
it's so cool.
All of these elements, and like then his relationship with the humans, and how like his people might not be okay with that right away, and like how there's just like, you could do all of these different elements, of that through the eyes of the Arbiter, who's this character we came to know in Halo 3.
Oh god,
it would have been
so many cool things they could have done, but they just went.
They could have done so
Halo
many
4
things.
Didact. Cortana wants to shag Chief, and then she touched him at the end.
It's crazy because you look at like all the novels they released for Halo, and they're all really cool concepts. It's like you could have just made one of those into a game.
Yeah,
like there's so many cool ideas. Like honestly, the Forerunner trilogy is honestly the best Halo books and some of the best novels I've ever read. Like genuinely, that Forerunner trilogy of books, I had so much fun reading those. They were just so interesting and immersive, and like, not only was the lore super interesting, but on top of that, it was also just like a really compelling story about a character.
Yeah.
And it made me appreciate what happened to the Forerunners and the Didact and all of this stuff, and like the 2 different Didacts and the Librarian, and it was so good. And like they talk about Zeta Halo as well, and like the what's that thing? The Primordial, like super interesting. Like there's so many cool things in those books. That like you could have even done something like that. Go back to Forerunner times and set a game there.
Yeah,
that could have been interesting.
Maybe. Possibly.
Who knows? I mean, I feel like for any major franchise, what's really a cool idea of how to run your franchise is to release lots of different games, but they're all different genres of games. Like, Halo doesn't always have to be an FPS.
No.
Like, you can explore Halo in loads of different contexts. Like, you look at Halo Wars. Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2 are both really good.
That's true. People love them.
And you could do something like that. It's something that I always said about Assassin's Creed, which, funnily enough, they're actually doing now with all their different games. Being different. You got your Mirage, which is like a more traditional AC. You got your Project Red, which is your RPG. You got your Hexe, which is a bit more of a linear game. You got your multiplayer, games and stuff. And it's that your VR and all those sorts of things. So, I feel like that's how you should run like a franchise like Halo.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's how you. That's how you change a game.
That's how you change a game. There you go, Raiden version 1.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Next up is from Conocido Sam, who is paying James's water bill, who says, "Fun little mental exercise I do with my friends. Tell me the best thing that happened to you today and your least favourite thing."
I haven't done much today.
No, I haven't either. This is going to be really stupid.
My least favourite thing.
Well, the best thing that I did today was this podcast.
Yeah,
because it's the only thing I've done today.
Yeah, same here. I haven't done anything else. I woke up, I had a shower, and then I got on this podcast. It's the worst thing that happened to me today.
Having to get out of bed was the worst thing that happened to me today.
I don't know what's the worst thing that happened to me. Nothing bad's happened to me today. I feel like
That's good.
I feel like people don't know when we record these podcasts. Like sort of we both sleep in, and then it's the first thing we do. When we get
exactly.
out of bed,
so
basically.
literally, the worst thing I've done today is have to get out of bed. The best thing I've done though is sitting here and doing this podcast.
I
That's
guess
it.
the worst thing you've had to do is wait 40 minutes for me to get on Discord.
Yes, that's true. That's true. For anyone that doesn't know, this is every episode, every fucking episode.
We say midday and we start recording by like 1.
Because somehow, so every single time, George will be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna quickly tidy my room." 40 minutes later, "Hey, bro, where are ya?"
Okay, over the 2 weeks in between recording the podcast, so I like clean my room before every recording, and over the 2 weeks, it just accumulates shit on the floor and stuff, and it just looks.
No one can see the floor.
Yes, they can. I can literally. I'm looking at OBS right now. There is a bit of my floor right there, and that is
probably barely
any.
any.
It is. It's a slither, but that is coincidentally the place where all the clothes I throw on the floor accumulates.
Just slide it to the side and then clean it later.
My desk, like you should have seen it earlier. There was like a Five Guys milkshake cup and like 4 Starbucks cups. Like,
why don't you just clean it when you're done with the thing?
Because look, when you're working full time and you get home from work, you need to speed run your hobbies. Otherwise, it's fucking bedtime before you know it. So it's like I don't have time to do that shit because it's like, oh, by the time I'm done cleaning, it's like 7 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock quickly becomes 8 o'clock, and then it's like, oh, now it's like 9, and now it's basically time to start winding down to go to bed. So fun.
But if you just finish the milkshake and then place it in the bin.
Yeah, but my bin's like a paper bin. Like I don't know.
But just walk downstairs. It'll take you 30 seconds.
That takes effort. Fucking walking downstairs.
It'll take 30 seconds, and then you've kept your room clean.
Nope. Nope.
Oh my God.
Can't be bothered. Long.
Jesus Christ.
When I'm sitting there gaming and I've got a Starbucks coffee and I finish it, it's not going in the bin. It's going on my desk for a week.
Oh my God, I can't imagine that. My office is always so clean.
That's true. Whereas the rest of your house is a fucking bomb site.
Yeah, because of Elva, because she's a fucking nightmare.
What do you mean?
She's literally exactly the same as what you just said. Like, she will not put stuff away. Like, the other day, I go into the bedroom, right, and I'm about to go to bed, and on her side and the windowsill, there's like 4 empty cans of Coke and like 3 glasses. I'm like, what the fuck? And like, also, she keeps what she does, right? Instead of throwing away like stuff that she needs to throw away,
yeah.
she has like a bag that she needs to throw away, and she leaves that on the windowsill and puts the rubbish in the bag and just leaves it there for like weeks.
Weeks? No.
Just take it downstairs.
That's so bad. That's so bad. See, I only ever do that in my room. I clean the rest of the house up. If I've made a mess in the bathroom, I'll put everything away. I'll wipe the side down and stuff. Same with the kitchen. But my room is free game for me to be fucking disgusting.
Oh God, I can't. I hate it.
Although I've got into a better habit of emptying my bin because fuck me. Sometimes I would. Let me get my bin and show it to everyone. This is my bin. It's not very big. And sometimes, what I used to do was, I would like fucking put rubbish in there, and then it would get to the point where it was like reaching the brim of the fucking bin, and I would just get my fist and just push it all down so there's more space, and just keep doing that until it was overflowing, and it was fucking horrible. It's just weeks of compacted
so
rubbish in this bin that's not meant to have that sort of rubbish in it anywhere. Like bins like that are meant for like little stuff, like I don't know, wrappers and bits of paper and tissues and stuff. Like it's not meant
it's
for
like a paper bin.
takeaway bags and stuff that I would just fist
okay.
downwards.
I will say, well, because I used to have, because currently, like, I have a bin. It's just like a black bin, like a opaque black bin.
Mm-hmm.
But when I lived with mum and dad, I had, before this bin, I had like your regular paper bin, it's like grated.
Oh, I think I have your one actually. I think I have it right now.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah, I think I stole your one.
But I used to use it for everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice until, I don't know how long it was, but I had to clean it because on the grate, like, I don't know what was there on it. I don't know if I was like some sort of organism growing on it, but God. Like it was disgusting.
Yeah.
Like I didn't there was not even, I didn't even used to put like a bin bag in it.
Yeah. I don't have a bin bag in mine either.
See, that makes it very easy to deal with because I have like a white bin bag.
All you have to do is take the bag out,
and then I just take the bag out and then replace it. Yeah, it's way easier.
Yeah.
But I used to, that grated bin. It used to be just covered in shit.
I have it. It's right here. Although,
and I had to
the bottom of it is still sticky.
Oh god,
there's like a sticky residue on the bottom. I don't know if you could all see that. Oh, you can so well in the camera.
Oh man, I used to put so much shit in that bin. Like just so much. Just everything used to go in that bin.
Random shit. Yeah. Well, it's still being used in that way. So I mean, it's great. But
that's
every
good,
week. Every weekend I get a bin bag from the garage and I just pour the contents into it.
Just put a bag in the bin and then
I don't have any bags that are like the right size for it.
Just get
I could buy some.
Yeah, like I have like a little white bag. It's just nice size, pretty good.
I could probably buy some
Helps
from Amazon, but that requires me once again doing something that isn't directly related to enjoyment. So it's a lot.
That's rough. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Thanks,
Connoisseur Sam, for that.
How did we get onto that from his question? All right, thanks, Connor.
Best and worst thing.
Best and worst.
Anyway, next up we got one from TJ who says, "I've not really known what to watch lately. Is there any movies or TV shows that you've watched recently that you recommend?"
Oh God, I'm actually the worst person to ask for watching stuff because I don't watch anything. What's the last thing I fucking watched? The last thing I watched was Django Unchained. That was
how long ago was that?
Weeks ago. I don't watch TV or movies very often because when
Django
I got
Unchained
video
is
games,
very good though.
It is a very good film. It's very funny.
Movie.
Yeah, it's very good. It's like a good mix between comedy and like very visceral, violent action.
Yeah. Have you seen? Is that the first Tarantino movie you've ever seen, or have you watched like the other his other stuff?
Well, I've watched something that Tarantino helped write, and he's in it. It was From Dusk Till Dawn, which is a very weird film. I don't know if you've seen
Oh,
that.
right, yeah.
But it's not a Tarantino film. I thought it was, but it actually isn't. No,
Have you never seen Kill Bill or Pulp Fiction?
Never seen Kill Bill. I haven't watched Pulp Fiction either.
Damn. Should watch them. They're good.
Yeah, there's lots of classics that I haven't watched. Like when I say to people that I haven't watched these classic films, they're like, "What?" I'm like, yeah, dude. I think I discovered video games when I was a kid. Stopped watching movies and TV.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do most is play games. But I've been trying to watch more movies.
Yeah,
and because I really like films. I think films are good. I recently watched all the John Wick films so that I could watch the fourth one in the cinema, which was banger of a film. Highly recommend. People haven't seen them. And also recently, last week, I think it was last week, was like an anniversary of Alien. The Alien franchise. And so I went to a cinema that we have in town, which is like a little small cinema, which just shows like, they just sort of play like, more artsy stuff and old films and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were doing like a double bill of Alien and Aliens. And so me and Abel went to go watch that there, which was a really nice vibe. It's a really nice vibey place. And those movies are sick. That's the first time I've ever seen them.
Alien
so that was really cool.
I've watched the first one.
Alien is one of the best films I think I've ever seen.
Banger.
Aliens is still great, not as good as the first one though.
That's still got Sigourney Weaver in it.
Yeah, it's like a direct sequel, picks up exactly-ish where the first one ends.
How does she How does she get into another situation with xenomorphs? How does she do that?
Well, the premise is the movie picks up and she's been drifting in space for like 52 years or something.
Fucking hell.
And they wake her up and they want her to be... They've like colonized that planet that they went to in the original film by this point. And she's telling them all about it. And she's like, what the fuck do you mean you colonized that planet? There's fucking horrible aliens there. And they're like, nah, you're not... That's not fucking true.
What?
And then they
humans.
So like they've never found them, right? They never found these aliens, obviously, because these aliens are not native to that planet. They just came there on a spaceship.
Yeah.
And so they get like this report from this colony that's like gone dark, and then they go to investigate. And she like is a consultant on that mission because she's like, no, look, I know what's fucking happening with people. And then they get there, and obviously
there's loads of aliens.
It is aliens, and then that's how the movie happens. You got to deal with that, and there's loads of cool little character things and development of her character and these nice little like mirrorings between the aliens and between Ripley. Like it's just really cool.
Yeah.
It is a good film. Aliens is a really, really good film. But I think I prefer the minimalism of the first one. It's just like it all takes place pretty much on one spaceship.
Well, it's very much, I think, Alien and Aliens is almost like the difference between Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2. It's like the first one where it's one person on a ship on their own and the whole movie takes place on that ship. And in the second one, it expands a lot because obviously you have to, and there's more people and there's, the higher stakes and stuff like that or whatever. It's very similar to that in the sense that the first one is very standalone. It can stand on its own pretty well, and the second one obviously relies heavily on the context of the first one and builds on that.
Yeah, for sure. That's because after playing the first, it's what's similar to in a way. Mm-hmm. It's similar to going from the episode Dalek to Parting of the Ways.
Yeah.
In that, like you need the context of Dalek that makes the finale scary because you're like, oh god, one of them was too much. Like, how are we going to deal with thousands?
Yeah.
Which is like is very, very similar in that regard, but still very good. Still great. Sequel's very, very good. I've heard that the rest are all terrible.
Yeah, I watched Alien Covenant as well, actually.
Is that the one with Michael Fassbender?
Yes, it is, yeah. And there actually are some pretty cool horror aspects in that. Yeah, the film itself, like, I don't know, the story, I guess, I don't actually even know what was happening, but there's some scary moments in it. I don't know if there's actually a xenomorph in that film at all.
Really?
I don't think there is. No, I don't think there is. There's like a baby one at the end, I think, or something like that. So
right, because that movie is set before
I think
the
it's
first one, isn't it?
I think it's a prequel, yeah.
Yeah, which would make sense that they wouldn't encounter one.
It's quite... I really like... You can tell that they have carried... Like, H.R. Geiger, the dude that created the concept of the xenomorph, like the artwork for it, like he's like a very prominent horror artist who does what's it called, biomechanical art, where it's like really fucked up shit, where it's like humans that are integrated into machinery and stuff like that. It just looks horrible. Like there's that, what was that game? There was a game that came out last year that took heavy inspiration. It was like a really visceral horror game.
I know what you're talking about.
From the works of H.R. Geiger. Yeah, and the Alien Covenant definitely carries on that aesthetic that I think is really cool. Like they go into this underground tunnel and it's almost like the walls, even though they're made of like metal, they look biological in the patterns and stuff, and the way the tunnels stretch underneath the planet, like this eldritch being, like this living being, even though everything is mechanical. It's really nice. That's in terms of the way it looks, like Alien Covenant. But again, the film, I have not, like the story, I have no fucking clue what was going on or what the goal was. I don't remember any of the protagonist characters' names or anything.
I think that's the weird thing about Alien is like the first film is just this really, really good horror movie, and the second follows up on that and is this great like character study while also being a horror film and an action film, sort of all rolled into one. But then they decided we're going to make this a universe,
Alien versus Predator.
They're going to build out the universe. It's like, Predator exists in this universe, and there's prequels, and like and Prometheus, and it's like it wasn't like not everything needs to be this expanded universe.
I think it was Prometheus that I watched. Maybe it was Prometheus.
Oh well, that's also pretty cool. But not everything needs to be this expanded universe like a Star Wars. Or,
it was Prometheus I watched. Yeah, not everything needs to be. Where's a standalone film You know who's making a standalone film? Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer. That's a standalone film. They're not going to make that into a fucking Oppenheimer cinematic universe.
The Oppenheimer franchise.
Yeah. We need more standalone films where it's just one. You don't need a sequel, it's just one on its own. Yeah. So I think those make for some of the best stories. You know, where there's no sequel bait at the end. It's just, this is a great movie on its own, and it doesn't need a second one.
Yeah, and I mean there are plenty of movies like that. You know, there's plenty of movies like, but you don't often get blockbusters like that.
No,
like,
blockbusters now all MCU.
They have to be franchises.
Fucking everyone's trying to copy the MCU. Like when Mario came out, there were people that was like, "Oh, I hope this sets up the Smash Bros. Cinematic Universe, and we get a fucking Star Fox film and a fucking Zelda film after this as well, and then finally it leads up to the Smash Bros. Film. It's gonna be so
cringe.
Cool." It's like, why can't you just enjoy the Mario film and hope for maybe a Mario sequel? Why do you need it to be the fucking Smash Bros. Cinematic Universe, you fucking consumer?
I know, I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. And it's like, I feel like the best blockbuster in recent memory, or maybe, honestly, of all time, is fucking Top Gun Maverick. That film
just people have been bigging it
so
up.
good. So fucking good. Like, it is the sequel. It's just so good.
Yeah,
like, you know, after watching...
it.
You got to watch Top Gun, and then you got to watch Top Gun Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just makes you feel so good. It's just so good. And not only is it like so good, like character wise and like vibe and everything, it just is such a good action movie too.
Yeah,
like it is genuinely like exciting to watch, which is crazy. I
mean, a few of the stunts in it were. I mean, Tom Cruise does mental stunts, and he's the one doing them. Like, I've seen the one where he jumps out the back of the plane. And it's like he's actually doing it. Like, it's not CGI.
He's
well, it
mental.
is enhanced with CGI, but he's actually jumping out the back of a plane.
Yeah, like he's got with Mission Impossible, like he's hanging onto the side of this plane as it flies. Like, he actually did that.
Shit's
like,
mental. God
like what
damn.
the fuck? What the fuck are they doing?
That's a man
it's
who's
fucking mental.
comfortable with falling through the air.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's plenty of good movies coming out. Like, I've been trying to go to the cinema way more and also catch up on films and just watch things. And like, you know, recently, like Babylon was a really good film that people just didn't like for some reason.
Is that the one that's got Tobey Maguire in it?
He is in it, yeah.
Yeah, and he plays the mental guy.
Yeah.
I've seen the
really
trailers of that. Looks pretty funny.
It's a really good, just like a really good film. Like,
and they're also
really fucking good.
Recently, Beau is Afraid came out. Is that it? With
Joaquin
I did
Phoenix? See that came out. Yeah. I've not watched it, but
and Joaquin Phoenix came out and he was like, "If you watch this, don't watch it on shrooms." That was like a statement that he made.
Man, I've heard that has got bad reviews too. Like, people
really?
don't like it.
Oh, it
which is weird.
Interesting.
It's probably good. Like, I feel sometimes people just don't get things, man. Like,
no.
It's like Babylon is one of those films. Like, it's got like a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I went into it thinking like, oh, I don't know what could possibly what's going to be underwhelming about this. And I came out and it was like a religious experience watching that film. Like, by the end of it, like, it just like the message they were trying to get across, the character journey, the drama, the like the themes, and just like what the movie was trying to say about cinema. Like, it was just so good, man. It just felt so good. It was like a cathartic film. I cannot understand why it's got bad reviews. I do not understand it.
People don't like cinema anymore.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. But
people just want new Disney Plus series about some obscure characters in Marvel. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 came out the other day, didn't it? I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I think it did come out the other day. I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah,
soon,
I'll watch it at some point. I'll even fucking go on my own if I have to. I probably won't have to. But
I want to finish up Guardians because Guardians is always good.
Yeah, like Guardians is great, but there's this like shot with like Rocket laying down and like
what
I can
animals.
only consider like random animal characters, and someone tweeted like,
yeah,
oh, there's a Disney Plus show right here, and it's like, what do you mean there's a Disney Plus show right here? What are they gonna do?
Yeah, I literally there's someone who quote tweeted it. I liked the tweet because I was like, this is exactly how I feel. Is like, it was like some people just interact with art fundamentally differently to me.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yep, that is it. Like, you know, I wanna watch these things and I wanna be moved and I wanna feel things and I wanna, you know, like, you know, understand the artist's meaning behind the piece, because it you know, these like movies mean things, and that's what makes it so good. But other people, they just see content, like,
yeah, they just want cool character to meet other cool character. And I mean, I relate to that because I used to also think like that. Like, the MCU fundamentally changed the way I looked at films for a while, because I was like, well, what can top this interconnected universe of cool characters meeting each other that wouldn't normally meet each other? Look how cool this is. I want to see this for the rest of my life. And I think it does.
Like, that is it on the surface, right? But like, the reason that you wanted to see that is because of how well written it was, and like,
it's like, now
how
I don't
well
give a shit.
characterized everyone was. Like, it wasn't just cool characters meeting cool characters. Like, that's what you thought you wanted. But what you really wanted was the meaningful character interactions that come from those characters meeting each other. Like, these deeply complex and flawed characters interacting with one another and going on these journeys that mean something.
Yeah.
Like, you just didn't realize it. Like, we didn't realize it at the time, why we liked it so much.
And now we live in a world where the MCU is shit, like, really shit.
It's really bad.
And I don't care about any of the characters in it meeting, I don't give a shit. I don't care about She-Hulk meeting Daredevil. I don't care. I don't care about the next Avengers movie, where Kate Bishop
Kang
comes
Dynasty
out and does mental shit. I don't care about her that much.
Yeah, you're never gonna have that relationship between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers again.
No, it's never gonna happen.
With what they're doing currently. It's just not even close.
No.
To being that good.
The only thing I care about in the MCU now, bar the newest Guardians film, obviously it's the last one, is Spider-Man. It's the only other thing I care about.
It's the only thing that hopefully, it's good. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, hopefully they don't just like undo everything that was done in No Way Home, and like they actually stick to it, and like they introduce new characters and they don't bring back like the random characters from the original like
like we need to move on now. This is like that trauma that Peter went through has to stick with him, and it has to be permanent. Like, don't undo everything. Don't
suddenly have
yourself.
MJ get her memories back and Zendaya's cast again. Like, I love Zendaya. I don't even really like her iteration of MJ that much, to be honest, but she was good in No Way Home, like really good. But like, just new characters, new world for our Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, like even if it's shit, we have Spider-Man PlayStation anyway, so I mean that fulfills my Spider-Man needs. But
very true.
I want to see Tom Holland Spider-Man do well.
Yeah, I think part of what makes Spider-Man so good is the permanence of loss. Like, it's what molds Spider-Man into who he is. Like, the fact that he can't undo those things of losing people, like, in whatever way he does lose them, is what makes him such a good hero, because he's fighting to make sure it never happens again.
It's like he's fighting this inner turmoil whilst also fighting the villains and saving people. It's just so selfless, and like, there's just something about Spider-Man that's so much different to any other superhero. Like, he's not doing it for recognition because no one knows who he is. Like, he's just a poor guy living on his own who goes through shit and just keeps going. And like, that's what Spider-Man is. Yeah,
it's great. And it's just it's this, you know, if you undo that loss, if you bring back Uncle Ben, if you bring back MJ's memories, like, it undoes what it means to be Spider-Man. Because then you lose that, like, he's invincible. Like, he has to lose. That's the point. Yeah. Like, the reason Spider-Man wins every time is because he lost so much before.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, like, you have to keep that intact. And it's like, you know, they've got a perfect setup now to tell this really, like, deeply intimate Spider-Man story. Or they can just do another epic team up and like make $1 billion. Yeah. And I don't know what I trust them to do.
The Spider-Man 4 will be like, there'll be like 60 villains in it, and it'll be like Deadpool, Daredevil, and Spider-Man in one film, and it'll just be tone deaf as fuck, and no one will like it.
Oh my god! I watched. You know what? When the night we got to Italy, we got to our Airbnb and we were tired as fuck, and we put on Netflix, and I decided to put on Venom 2: Let There Be Carnage. It was so bad.
Oh
like,
god.
Like, all I'd heard on social media, right, and I stuck by it, this movie probably is terrible because like people are dumb, but all I'd heard was like, no, it's like one of those classic superhero movies, like it's a charming kind of goofy, and I was like, all right, let's see. No, man, it's fucking terrible.
It's shit.
Like, it's written so badly. Like, every line of dialogue is atrocious. It looks like shit. Oh, it's so bad.
It
Just
has
so
nothing
fucking
to do
bad.
with the Spider-Man mythos whatsoever. It's just Venom doing weird shit. It's like the
Oh
first
my
film was
God.
enough for me. I watched it like years ago while I was in like a study period in sixth form, and it was fucking shit. And I knew from that moment that I just don't want to touch any Tom Hardy Venom content. It's just not as if I have anything against Tom Hardy. He's a great actor, but like that Venom verse is shit.
Yeah, very, very bad.
It sucks.
Very,
Isn't it the
very
same
bad.
universe as Morbius as well?
Yeah. And there's a post-credit scene where Vulture shows up and he goes,
Oh yeah.
I ended up here somehow, and I think it has something to do with Spider-Man. I'm like, how is that dialogue you've written? How have you written that?
Are Sony actually gonna do anything with that? Or did they
I don't know.
see how bad Morbius did, and they're just like, fuck, we're fucked.
Dude.
I'm not releasing the Silver Sable film now. I'm not doing that, or the Black Cat film they were planning to make that no one cares about.
It is insane how much Sony want to do a Sinister Six film. They have tried so many times.
That's true. They've
and
tried
they just
for years.
can't do it, and they just cannot do it because they're just, I don't know what is going on at their studio, but like they just keep hiring fucking idiots.
It's mental.
Like, just anyone that writes for fucking Sony are just terrible.
It's
like
awful.
I do not understand how a creative medium and the creative industry has so many terrible writers. Like, I just don't understand.
Well, it's only gonna get worse now with the writers' strike.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, like, there's a lot of places like that are looking at the use of AI to like get AI to write a script and then get a writer to fix the script, and you could pay them way less then, because they're not writing the script, they're fixing a script.
Fuck, they're striking. Just keep striking. Don't stop. Yep. Don't stop.
Yep. And it's really sad too, because you look at the way media has been covering the writers' strike, and they've been trying to like spark outrage among, you know, like fucking man children that just want their superhero movies. Where they're like, the writers' strike has halted production on Blade 2. It will, you know, it's been halted indefinitely, and they want people to be like, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? I just want to see Blade. I just want to see the fucking Blade film.
I just want to see cool Blade, alright?
Like, why are they gonna fucking strike and ruin my movies? Like, stop throwing your fucking toys out the pram. Do your fucking job. Write the fucking film. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Instead of blaming the big corporations for not paying their writers what they should be fucking paid, they want people to get mad at the writers.
There's so many people that are anti-striking though. Like, I mean, even when the NHS was striking in the UK recently, so many people were blaming the people striking instead of looking at the root cause of why are they striking? Oh, because they don't get fucking paid enough to do a job that's really taxing.
Yeah, and then people will be like, "Oh, we'll fucking get in a different profession then." Like, no, that's not.
You shouldn't have
that's
to.
not the point.
Yeah, you should be able to have the rights to speak up and go, "Hey, this is not fair pay for my industry, for the work that I do.
Exactly.
Pay us more, you cunt. Otherwise, we will stop working, and there will be none of us left."
There are way too many people, like NHS workers, you know, writers, actors in some cases.
Yeah.
Obviously, not in others.
Mm-hmm.
You know, teachers,
animators.
You know, artists in general, like, you know, that just don't get paid what they should be getting paid.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid.
It's insane.
Like, it's, you know, these people do deserve to be paid more, and they deserve to be, you know, paid well for the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, you know, at Marvel and at Disney, you know, the way that they work their fucking, you know, like, artists and writers and animators and all of this shit, like, is insane. Like, people, you know, complain about the quality of She-Hulk CGI, but why do you think it looks like that? Like, because Marvel do not give them time and don't pay them well enough. Like, they're like, you know, paying them, you know, nowhere near enough money and not giving them any time to get these things done.
Yeah.
And it's why Marvel's CGI has dropped off significantly.
Yeah, it looks dreadful now. It used to look really good. Like, if you look at Iron Man 1, like the scene where he's first putting on the armor and he goes to wherever in the Middle East he goes to and like blows people up and shit. Like, his suit looks so good. It looks so
Iron
good.
Man 1 looks really great. Like, you look at Iron Man 1, you look at Transformers, the first Transformers.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, the CGI in those films is, honestly, it still looks like it holds up today.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
you know, and it's sad to see. You look at Ant-Man, Quantumania,
and
you look at She-Hulk.
You got MODOK looking like a literal fucking Roblox character. Like, what are we doing?
It's crazy.
Fuck
It's
that
so
film.
crazy.
Fuck that film. I seen a clip from it where like MODOK is like on the ground and he's like, "I'm just not a good person" or whatever. And then like Ant-Man's daughter just goes, "Well, stop being a dickhead" or whatever, or stop being.
I saw that too.
And it's
yeah.
like, what is this acting? Like, what is this scene?
I can't believe they recast her too.
Yeah, what the
after
fuck?
Endgame,
That
like
shit's insane. Imagine being
they
the
literally
poor
had
girl.
her in Endgame.
The
like,
poor
what the
girl
fuck?
that was cast as her originally, thinking this is gonna be my big break. Oh my god, I'm gonna be the like new Avengers. I'm gonna be in the new Avengers, and they're just like, nah.
No,
Get someone else. Fuck you.
And she's like, you know, no offense to her, but she's not as good of an actor. Like that one scene that Cassie was in Endgame was really good. Like, you know, she managed to convey a lot of emotion in just that one scene with that, you know, dialogue. And, you know, you could say that, you know, maybe some of the writing was to blame in Ant-Man, for sure. But I just can't understand why they recast her. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. It doesn't make sense. You had an actress, just keep her.
Well, the
very odd.
MCU is in absolute turmoil because Jonathan Majors got into some hot
God,
water.
no, man.
Like,
it's insane.
Beating his wife or something, or like a girlfriend that he was with. Then loads of other people came out like, yeah, Jonathan Majors beat me as well. And it's like, Marvel's based their cinematic universe on this guy, and now all this shit's come out. And I read somewhere that like they're waiting to see what the public reception of it is. If he's demonized and cancelled entirely by everyone for it, they'll get rid of him. But if the majority of people don't care, they'll keep him.
That's crazy.
They're just like waiting to see. But obviously that could just be someone's interpretation of it, and like that may not be the actual case. But
the thing is as well, like Kang is such a shit character too. Like he is not compelling at all.
He was cool
like,
in
it's
Loki.
Just yeah, he was pretty interesting in Loki. But ever since, it's just like the arc surrounding him. Like he just doesn't have the presence or the intrigue that Thanos had.
No,
like
no.
When you see Thanos at the end of Avengers, or when you hear about him and like you see him show up in Guardians of the Galaxy,
He's
and like you learn about him through his daughters, like it's so interesting. And like they managed to build this up, like just the like it is actually insane how well paced and like contextualized the entire overarching narrative of the Infinity Saga was.
I know, it's like thinking back to it, I do not know how they pulled it off.
The way they told these individual stories while also building character, building relationships, and contextualizing each Infinity Stone within a story that used it as like the central plot point. And then bringing that all together, and then explaining what they are in Guardians, and then showing what Thanos' plan is. Like, it was so good. It was so well paced, and every single movie like had something to contribute. You know, like when you watch Endgame or you watch Infinity War, there's a payoff to every single film that you watched.
Basically, yeah.
Like every single film is worth watching because there's a payoff by the end. Whereas, you know, in this new era, like, how are they going to pay off fucking Moon Knight? like in the Kang Dynasty, they're going to pay off, you know, I sat through 6 hours of Moon Knight meandering. Like, what the fuck?
Oh god, Moon Knight and Ethan Hawke, best villain ever, man with the scepter.
he gets killed in the post-credit scene.
Oh yeah, he gets shot in the back of a car.
That's just like mental. He survives and you're like, oh, what happened? And then the post-credit scene, they just get shot.
By the fucking protagonist who's now putting on like a weird accent. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking gonna kill you now. It's like, what? What's this post-credit scene?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, man. I'm gonna feel so much pride in myself that when I finish watching Guardians Volume 3 at the cinema, I'm walking out. I'm not watching the fucking post-credit scene.
That is true.
I'm not gonna sit there with all those fucking nerds.
We don't need it.
Waiting for the cameo of Glup Shitto's brother or whatever.
Glup Shitto shows up and he goes, oh my god, this is a multiverse of madness. And then he runs off.
They combine Star Wars with the MCU. It's now one universe. No, not the whole of Star Wars, just the Mandoverse.
You know what?
So you get Ahsoka shows up and fucking Pedro Pascal's
and
there.
fucking Thrawn, and everyone goes, "Oh my god, it's fucking Thrawn! It's Thrawn!
It's Thrawn!
It's the greatest Star Wars character ever!"
I remember, see, I really like Thrawn because when he was a character before, he was really good. So because he's here again, I want him here
So
again.
when I read a
again.
book in like the mid 2000s from Legends made by a fan, he was really good. So he's gonna be great now. Fucking Star Wars fans, just fuck off. I hate you.
Oh,
Hate
man.
you. I was gonna say something. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I was gonna say, funniest post-credit scene ever is the Multiverse of Madness one, where the end scene of the fucking movie ends with him in like fucking turmoil. He's like like screaming. His eye
And
comes
he
out
has
his
like
head.
a third eye opens.
And the
He's just
post-credit
walking
scene
down the
starts,
street.
and he's like smiling. He's just like, it's okay now. It's fine.
God, that was so fucking funny. One of the best ones was the Eternals post-credit scene where Harry
I didn't even
Styles
watch
just
that
shows
film.
up,
Oh god.
and he's like Thanos' brother or something.
And he goes, "You right, lads? Yeah, I'm Harry
It's so
Styles."
weird.
I've actually never watched Eternals, so I don't even know anything about anything to
my
do with that film.
God, fucking, Jon Snow, Kit Harington gets kidnapped at the end. He finds a sword that's whispering to him, and then he gets kidnapped by an alien or something, and goes into space. I don't fucking know, man.
Classic Jon Snow. Classic guy.
Oh my God, it was. Yeah, the MCU is so far. I've not watched any MCU since Thor: Love and Thunder, which was about a year ago.
I haven't even watched that. The last one I watched was No Way Home.
You've seen the shows though. You watched She-Hulk.
Yeah, I didn't watch all of it. I didn't even get to the episode where Daredevil was in it.
Right. Was that the last thing you watched then?
I think it must have been, yeah. It was like halfway through She-Hulk and I was just like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, and that was like August last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the last thing I watched was Thor: Love and Thunder, and then I just completely just tuned out, and which is weird because I liked Thor: Love and Thunder despite people saying it wasn't very good. I thought it was,
Taika Waititi is now hated.
People hate him.
Like, don't trust him with another film. Don't do it.
I thought it was, I thought it was good, but it's whatever. I can understand why people didn't, but I think that they just, I don't know. I feel like they misunderstood what the film was trying to do.
Yeah.
And I think there's an element to it. Like, I can understand you still not liking it despite understanding what it was trying to do. But I think that, like, just the way that Taika does his comedy is in a way where, like, I don't know. It worked for me, but...
Yeah, I guess it doesn't work for other people that don't want it.
Yeah, that's fine. That
is fine. Anyway, that's the Patreon topic of what should you watch?
Yeah, there you go. Fucking Christ.
It's
Let's
such
push
a
on.
tangent, holy shit.
Where are we? I can't find it. Here it is. Okay. Next topic is from Disciple Nick Zan, who says, "Good day, James and George. I hope you're both doing very well. As of writing, I'm watching this video regarding the ethics of knowledge in Horizon. And while it's a brilliant essay, it made me think, should Aloy live or die at the end of Horizon 3?
Live.
What would be more thematically appropriate?
Live.
What would make the most sense for her as a character?
We've
I feel
already
like it could
talked
go
about
either
this
way.
last episode.
We have. Depending on what message the writers want to tell, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. Perhaps one of you may have a more definitive answer. Thanks in advance, Nick."
Live.
Yeah, I think we're both in agreement. She should live. Yeah.
I don't see any conclusion that's satisfying where Aloy dies. I want to see her happy, fulfilled, and just with nothing to worry about. I want her to be able to enjoy the world that she's given so much to protect.
Yeah.
Just like Elizabeth wanted, because Elizabeth, she was the one that gave the sacrifice. Aloy is the embodiment of a better future. Her dying would be thematically wrong.
Yeah, because the entire point of Aloy is that she learns she's a clone of Elizabeth, and then by the end of Forbidden West, she realizes that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah,
like that doesn't define her.
It's like
although she spends the entirety of Zero Dawn treading in the same footsteps of Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Forbidden West is about stepping like adjacent to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So like she has to survive.
Yeah, like she still respects Elizabeth, and there's still obviously going to be plenty more parallels between the two. But she does. I don't want her to have the same ending as Elizabeth. Like that's not, because that would just be like, oh, she's Elizabeth too. She's done the same thing as Elizabeth. Like she needs to be greater in every aspect, in the fact that
That's
she
the
doesn't
point,
need to sacrifice herself to save the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our opinion. I think we talked about this briefly last episode, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's all about like she needs to not like Elizabeth sacrificed the world that they had in the hopes of a better one, and Aloy is the personification of the better world.
Yeah, exactly.
And so she now needs to do what Elizabeth couldn't do, which is to save the world
Yeah.
instead of giving it up for the next world. Like, you know, there's that conversation that she has with Hades, which I think is like very much... I think that sets in stone exactly where the game is going to go, and they have to fulfill it. Is that Hades says there will, like, he's
this
like,
is version
this is
5
version
or whatever.
5. There will be no version 6. And she's
Yeah.
like, there doesn't need to be because I'm saving this one.
Yeah, yeah. That right there sets up.
Yeah.
It is very subtly what her goals are for the rest of the franchise. You know, there
exactly.
is
She's determined to save the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just, and it's not like, and the thing with it as well is like she's not determined to like die trying. It's like she's like, no, I'm going to save the world. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, I'm not just going to try. Like, I am going to do it.
And she's worried about her own well-being as well, because that last bit of Forbidden West, when she's talking about Nemesis, she says, like, and I can't say that I'm not afraid. And it's like she's not just blindly staring into this looming threat and going, you know what, I'll happily give my life. I'm sure she would happily give her life, but it's like she's at a point now where she has things that she cares about and doesn't want to miss. You know?
Yeah. Because like she spends, like, you see when she nearly dies. It's a great moment, like when she nearly dies in the Hades proving lab, when she nearly drowns and Val saves her, and she sees the vision of Rust.
Yeah.
And it's this moment for her where it's like doing what she's doing and chasing Elizabeth. She's going to die. Like, she's going to die trying to save the world.
Yeah.
And then she sees Rust, and Rust, like we learn towards the end of the game, once she realizes, is this embodiment of why she's different from Elizabeth.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, it's this symbol in this moment that's showing, like, no, this is why you're different. You can't keep treading down this path. You have friends that want to help you. You have these connections, and you actually do care about them.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, lay into that, embrace that, and be Aloy. And, you know, use that to save the world.
I mean, it's all throughout the game. There's like themes of that and stuff. Like, when Fashav at the very beginning says to her, "Oh, only 2 of you for such an important task." Something you'll learn is allies are the most important thing, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing it, but it's like even from that very moment at the embassy, people are saying to her, "You can't just have such a small group, or you can't face this on your own." You have to have allies, and that's like a theme throughout the game, and she eventually obviously accepts it with all these different factions that now respect her and that she's allied with, which is something that we will definitely see in the third game. Like in the third game, if we don't see the Tenakth and the Karja and the Banuk and the Osram all banding together, and the Itaru and maybe possibly some of the Quen, like if we don't see them coming together and all being like under one banner, then and I'll be
like
surprised.
That's the thing, right? Is the idea of like the Eleuthia birthing cradles and teaching Apollo through Artemis. Like the idea was to bring world peace. Like that was the idea. Is that they would understand the mistakes of the old world, and through that there would be peace around the globe once the new world happened. And it's like that didn't happen. But through Aloy, it might still happen. It's like she is going to bring together all of these different tribes.
Exactly.
And, you know, it might not be on a global scale. It might be on a smaller scale. But it's one of those things, like, you see her able to do this. Like, you know, the final battle of Meridian at the end of Zero Dawn. You've got people from different tribes coming together to defend the city.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you know, her core team of all of her allies from all different tribes, all of which are outcasts, you know, in their own right, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but by the way that they're characterized, like, you know, Zoe, obviously, you know, not being listened to by the chorus, and then you've got Cthulhu after losing his arm. He's not seen as, you know, as tough and as, you know, strong-willed as the rest because he's, you know, lost a part of himself.
Yeah.
You've got Alva being, you know, this diviner, but she's locked out of parts of the legacy, and, you know, the Quen Empire is very oppressive in that regard.
Yeah, like a lot of Quen, especially Alva, they believe in the stuff like the legacy, but Alva particularly is like, the more you interact with her and the more you see of her in the game, the less she seems to care about the Quen, like the collective Quen, if that makes sense. And that's sort of what makes her an outsider, because she's not afraid of things that other Quen are. But yeah, I really like that, because it's like, because Aloy is the outcast, and it's like now she's got this ragtag team of outcasts. It's just so cool. I love it.
It's really good. It's really, really good. Yeah. And that's, but Aloy has to survive.
I think she does too.
Yeah. Right, we've got the last topic here from James and also World Jones.
Hey, the classic guy himself.
It seems to be a bit of a more personal topic to wrap things up on, but let's see where this goes. He says, this could be a little late to write, but I'll give it a shot. I've been feeling depressed as of late, ever since my breakup. I used to be a piece of shit, and now I've been focusing on myself. I've been trying to become a better person. I've been hitting the gym like 4 times a week, and it's been great. However, my ex decided that she was going to have a slag phase. She has been going out a lot and kissing and having sex with whoever. Obviously, this is painful to see, but she can do whatever she wants. As I said before, I've been depressed and hating what I did and how things turned out between us. So last night gave me a bit of boost of happiness, I guess. She's officially been given herpes. Oh my god. Now, I think that this is some sort of karma coming to bite her in the ass for slagging about. This is not a great comment. I think this is a fine... Is this a fine way for me to think, or am I fucked?
No, it's not a fine way for you to think. A woman having sex with many partners is not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Men do it. People can have sex with as many romantic partners as they want. And I understand it's definitely, when I've broken up with exes in the past and I've seen on their social media, they've been out and about doing things and I'm just sulking around. It can make you very bitter and very resentful. I'd say block her on social media. Don't look at her social media if it's hurting you in this way, because that's just not good. But also, don't think that there's going to be some crazy level of karma that's going to come and fuck her over, because one, you don't think ill on people that you've been in relationships with in the past, unless they did something genuinely abusive towards you. Try and think about it as in, you had your time together, something went wrong. Now you've gone your separate ways, and you can both live your life, and you both have the right to be happy. You don't wish ill will on her. That's just gonna keep you bitter. Because I definitely went through periods of time in past relationships and stuff where it ended, and I felt really bitter towards the person. I'd constantly be thinking about I hope something really bad happens to them. Well, not anything serious, but I hope one day they realise what they're fucking lost. Not that bad, but yeah, I'd be thinking hopefully one day it will dawn on them, just how much of a cool guy they've lost. And it doesn't happen. It won't happen. It's not gonna happen.
That sounded so incel-y.
Well, I mean, dude, you do not think rationally when you've got out of a relationship and you're feeling awful about it. It's fucking weird, but it's something that I've been through a couple of times. Just keep doing what you're doing. Go to the gym. Don't slut shame her for enjoying her life in the way that she wants to. Block her on social media. Don't check up on her social media. Try and live life in a positive way. Do things that you wouldn't normally do. Try and expand your horizons. Maybe go on holiday if you can, somewhere you've never been before. Spend lots of time with friends, and just don't sit there festering over it, because it is no good for you, man. Gym's good though, for sure, but definitely don't think that she's a bad person because she's having multiple sexual partners. There's nothing wrong with that. Even if it hurts you personally, it's perfectly understandable that it would hurt you, but it's not an inherently bad thing for her to be doing. It does not mean she's a bad person. That's my thoughts on it. This is a topic that I thought a lot about things like this, dude, when I was going through breakups when I was a teenager and stuff, and I've been through all sorts of shit related to that, so I understand the pain.
It's good advice. It's definitely good advice. I think, I agree with everything that you said. Definitely, yeah. If it's hurting you too much, seeing her, doing whatever she wants to do, block her. Just, not out of malice, but because, just looking out for yourself.
Yeah.
If that's gonna help you, I think as well. Yeah, like George said, you can't be thinking ill of her for doing whatever she's doing, just living her life, doing what she wants to do. She's not doing anything wrong. And like you said, I mean, she doesn't based on the context you've given, you broke up. The reason you broke up was because of yourself, right? That's what you've said. It wasn't even her. Why does karma need to get her because you messed up? That seems a bit hypocritical way of thinking. But I think you're doing the right thing. Work on yourself, focus on yourself, and eventually, I reckon, things will become clear. You'll figure it out. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
It will. You'll be able to let go of that. But,
for sure.
Yeah, you just got to stop looking. You got to stop looking because
don't message her either.
What good?
Don't message her.
Yeah, don't do that.
I've done that before. It's bad.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You wanna just stay away, focus on yourself, because what good is looking at her Instagram, messaging her? What good is that gonna do? Like, you're not getting back together. It's not gonna go back to how it was, and it's not gonna be happily ever after. It's not gonna happen.
No.
All you're gonna do is hurt yourself. It's just gonna lengthen out the healing process.
Yeah.
You just you are just hurting yourself. So just focus on yourself. Like you said, at least you're trying. Like, that's a good thing.
Gym is a great thing. Gym is great. Keep doing that.
You are trying, and that's good, because there was a couple topics you left before in the past. Like, one of them I couldn't even read because it was so bad. Where and like the last episode of Clubhouse, that was a fucked topic that Tyler got mad over.
Oh god.
So you are working on yourself. You're doing what you need to do, and that's good. That's good. You should be proud of yourself.
Like, also admitted in that topic there that you thought some of the things you did during the relationship weren't too good. That self-reflection is the first step to growth, I think, because it can
100%.
be hard when you come out of a relationship and you feel hurt by the fact they've broken up with you. It can be hard to admit to yourself that maybe it was something that you did, and you go into this state of denial where it's like, oh, it wasn't me, they're just horrible, they just didn't give me a chance, they don't understand me, or they're mean, they're cold, they're uncaring about my feelings. And it's like, just maybe analyze your behavior during the relationship and things that she said to you during the breakup. There's always a conversation you have, obviously, when you make the decision to break up, and if there was some standout things she said about stuff that you did, maybe think about that and how you can change it. Don't slut shame her. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, you don't want what you don't want to do, because this can happen to a lot of young men. Obviously, when you get out of a relationship and feel hurt, is going down that rabbit hole of
women are sluts,
becoming sexist.
Yeah,
oh, fuck women. Women fucking suck. Women this, women that.
Yeah.
And that a lot of people can fall into that trap because they feel hurt, and they end up in that mindset. You want to not fall into that mindset.
Yeah, don't start watching Top G videos. Don't start watching Andrew Tate.
Don't start watching fucking Andrew Tate. Don't start watching fucking Sneeko.
Aiden Ross. Like, stay away from that content. No. Yeah. Women are great. They are great. Don't lose faith in them because you've had a bad experience with one. And yeah.
Yeah, just work on yourself. You'll be good.
For sure.
I believe in you.
I do too. You're on a long path now, a long journey of growth and self-reflection and fulfillment.
For sure.
And maybe read some books as well. Books are fucking great.
Read some books.
Yeah, man. Like, honestly, reading a book can offer you some insight into stuff in your life that movies and TV and games just can't. Books are fucking great. Read. And also, it makes your vocabulary better as well. It makes you look like an intelligent guy. Yeah. I look forward to hearing a response in the future if you want to respond, or if you want to give us an update down the line.
Yeah, give us an update down the line. Let us know how you are. What's going on with you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. I hope it gets better for you.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, that's all our topics. That's the show. 2.5 hours. Pretty nice episode.
Yeah, what the fuck? 2.5? Nearly the full 3. God damn.
Yeah, look at us fucking go. This is like the old days of As Always podcast. Bloody hell. I haven't done this in ages.
God damn.
But there we go. That's it. I haven't got anything else to say.
Neither do I. I don't have anything. Well, watch my Horizon video if you haven't already, but I assume everyone that's watching knows about it and has either not wanted to watch it because they don't want to, or watched it because they did want to. I'm just going to say it again because I want to shill it. Yeah,
go watch the Horizon video. Go watch my Horizon video, my Burning Shores video.
Go watch James's fucking Burning Shores video, man.
It's a good video.
Exactly, it's got a nice thumbnail as well. I like it.
I've changed the thumbnail like 5 times.
I know it was a Sunwing at first, or the new machine. I don't know what it's called. And then it was Aloy facing away from the camera.
Yeah, I've changed it now to it's the Horus fight.
It makes sense. Yeah, it's probably like
it looks really good actually. I'm really happy with this one. I'm gonna leave it like that. I think.
That seems like the most sort of iconic part of the DLC, I guess, is Aloy standing there alone, and then the Horus is coming towards her. Like, it's a very evocative piece of imagery.
It's nice. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the podcast. Thank you everybody so much. It's been a good episode. We'll see you in 2 weeks for another one. And gaming. All right.
Gaming.
Love ya. We'll see you soon.
See you later, folks.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.